Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. We're going to do an early broadcast of TFR. This will not be on the Truth Frequency Radio Network, so there will not be any advertisements. And the reason I've decided to do this is because the call board is down again and still completely unable to get a hold of Chris Geo, who runs the Truth Frequency Radio Network. And I really do hope he's okay. It just seems bizarre that he has not uploaded a YouTube video for several months. And again, if you watch his last broadcasts, he said he would be back next week, but he's been gone for months along with his wife. And seems like a lot of people are not doing their shows because they're having the same technical difficulties that I am. And again, it just seems so strange that just everything about it seems strange. So I do hope that Chris Geo and his wife are okay. And I will continue to do the show on there, even if the call board's down. We'll just use my cell phone as the backup like we did last week. But there is something I can help out Sweet Lady with tonight. So I figured just get the show done right now before she gets home from work. And I know a lot of people prefer to do the show this way anyhow, without the commercial breaks. So it's what it'll be for today. And again, I've titled today's show, What is Gematria? Because we have to go over that again. A lot of people just don't even know what this topic is or where it came from. And I want to talk about how broad its application is. And I also want to talk about my hometown Portland Trailblazers with the return of Damian Lillard tonight, and how through understanding what Gematria is, you can truly see how scripted professional sports are. And you can better understand why the announcers are always blurting out, you couldn't have scripted it any better. So there's a group of people out there who are trying to diminish the work, and they're trying to say that what we're doing doesn't have anything to do with Gematria. They're trying to say what we're actually teaching is arithmancy and necromancy, which is completely false. And again, I want to emphasize what the root of Gematria is. Gematria comes from Kabbalah, and essentially what it boils down to is the practice of decoding numbers from words. And its original purpose was within the Hebrew language in the Old Testament and the Torah to gain better understanding of Scripture. But clearly since then, this idea has evolved into other things. And after Hebrew, Gematria, which is also known as isopsephy, became part of the Greek language. Again, the biblical languages are both based in this numerical letter system, alphanumeric system, if you will. Hebrew, based in Gematria, Greek, based in isopsephy, which is the same thing. The Greek word for Gematria is isopsephy. And again, this knowledge has been used to better understand the meaning of Scripture. And it's why the Bible is a book full of numbers. When you study this, you start to see it has real-world application, though. And what my research has led me to understand is, okay, it has a religious orientation, and it's clearly become part of the English language. So once upon a time, I started to look into who was behind the English language. I found, the oldest English script is credited to a Catholic monk. And what we noticed from the research is that the calendar system we're on, it's very clear that the English language is in connection with the calendar, which is named after a Catholic pope. And if you study the Catholic Church, it said that after the Crusades, the Templars brought back the knowledge of Kabbalah to the church, where Gematria comes from. Within Kabbalah, it is explained in the Book of Formation on the opening page. God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. And about the God part, the simple definition right here from Jewish Virtual Library is Gematria is the computation of individual letters, words, or entire sentences utilizing their numerical equivalents. Some people believe that the words and ideas in the Torah may be connected with or understood from the numerical values and relationships. So again, the computation of individuals' letters, words, or entire sentences. And the Torah, if you don't know what the Torah is, it's the first 5 books of Moses. And it begins with Genesis. So, what's interesting about English, and I have a book out there called Letters and Numbers, and the first chapter is about the significance of 26. And I wrote that chapter in 2017, many years before Kobe Bryant died, on the 26th day of the year. And I explained how 26 is this very special number and where it fits in with the legacies of even people like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, only for years later for Kobe to die on the 26th day of the year on the anniversary of Bear Bryant. But in Gematria, the word God equals 26. The name Adam equals 26. And if you're not familiar with the Bible, it's the 26th verse where God makes Adam. So when I began to learn about this, that was something that stood out to me right away. I said, wow, God equals 26, Adam equals 26, and he's made in the 26th verse. In addition to that, the word Torah equals 26. Names like Bryant and Jordan equal 26. Words like game and even ball game have numerical equivalents of 26. And just as it is in Hebrew and in Greek isopsephy, there are multiple ways to decode words. If you learn standard Hebrew gematria, there are 14 different ciphers that are considered fundamental to the study. 14. There are many. I've read in Faith Giovanni's book, which was published in the 70s, that there's over 100 ciphers of gematria in use in the English language. Never once have we figured out what all 100 ciphers are, but we learned very early on what was very clearly the 4 base ciphers: the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. So again, gematria, the computation of words, letters themselves, and sentences into numbers. And think about it. Again, in the English translation of the Bible, Genesis 3:22 mentions the tree of life and knowing good and evil. And if you're aware of Kabbalah, the physical model is called the tree of life. And there's a standard half, which is considered, the half of understanding your connection with Creator. And it's just referred to as the tree of life. You could essentially say the good half. There's also an evil half to the tree of life, and it's known as the Clipoth. Genesis 3:22 mentions the tree of life, knowing good and evil. And the thing about the tree of life is it has 3 pillars and 22 paths. And the New International Version and the King James Version of the Bible use different wording in Genesis 3:22, but both verses through the part of knowing good and evil. The first half of the verse through knowing good and evil, where the first punctuation is, despite the different wording in English gematria, both sentences equate to 322. Obviously, a very special number made famous by Skull and Bones, or Order 322, out of Yale. And you pay attention, that number shows up everywhere. Right now, big focus in Jordan with 3 U.S. troops killed at Tower 22. So we're told. 3 troops at Tower 22. The founder of the Illuminati dead on the 322nd day of the year. On and on and on. Major war breaks out in the world right as Yale turns 322 years old this past year in October of 2023. So, okay, this is what gematria is. Boiled down, the practice of coding numbers into words, which has biblical origins. Now, the people who are trying to denounce the work are saying that what we're doing is arithmancy. And what arithmancy is, a form of divination, the practice of predicting the future. Anyone who practiced it used numbers to assign value to a word or phrase. Then they used that value to uncover the future, and in some cases to redirect it. Now, I could see why people would accuse us of that, because we do predict the future using this knowledge. But we're not saying that, because this number's behind this word, that's why this is going to happen in the future. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is the cabal is executing rituals on the human populace this way. So essentially, we're decoding what the cabal's doing, not acting that, understanding this gives us some kind of sorcery to see the future. It does give us an ability to get an idea of what's coming in the future, but not through sorcery, or what I would refer to as divination. I would say it's from understanding what's being done to us and getting ahead of the curve. So, again, gematria is still the practice of coding numbers into words. Arithmancy sort of pertains to that, but gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, which is the basis of understanding even this subject. And then to accuse us of necromancy, I mean, not even close. Necromancy is the practice of communicating with the dead. I mean, really? Where have you ever seen that? I probably have 12,000 YouTube videos at this point over the last decade. At no point have you ever seen me trying to communicate with the dead. So, never pulled out a Ouija board, nothing. But yes, again, this knowledge, and we've shown for a decade how it can be used for predictive power, but not through what I would refer to as the practice of arithmancy, just through understanding the way the game is rigged and the way the rituals are performed upon us. And here, to make a point, again, you can use this knowledge with regards to exposing how elections are rigged, as we did very well in 2016 and in 2020. Again, actually before it was even 2016, in 2015, they put up on the stage as Donald Trump took office for the first time a stat that said Forbes says Donald Trump is the 133rd richest man in the world. And we pointed out right then, we said, are they telling us that Donald Trump is the next rigged candidate for the Oval Office? Because president's 133 and so is White House and so is government. And then sure enough, next thing you know, Donald Trump is the president. And we pointed out why it mattered that he announced he was running from the 58-story Trump Tower for the 58th election when Freemasonry and secret society equal 58, and D.C. is known as the Masonic City. Again, we weren't saying like, ooh, through the sorcery, we're saying, no, the game is rigged. That's why they're putting these numbers in front of you. Gematria comes from Kabbalah. Most people are familiar with the term the cabal, the secret political faction. Here, let's see what the internet definition of the cabal is these days. Let's see what it says. The cabal, a group of people who are united in some close design, usually to promote their private views or interests. Here, let's finish the rest of the Wikipedia definition. In an ideology, a state, or another community, often by intrigue and usually without the knowledge of those who are outside their group. The use of this term usually carries negative connotations or political purpose, conspiracy, and secrecy. Doesn't it start to make sense? DC is known as the Masonic City. Freemasonry is based in Kabbalah. Albert Pike revealed that in his book, Morals and Dogma. Conspiracy, secrecy, things that are very much related, secret societies. It can also refer to a secret plot or clique, or it may be used as a verb to form a cabal or secretly conspire. The term cabal is derived from Kabbalah, a word that has numerous spelling variations, the Jewish mystical interpretation of the Hebrew scripture. In Hebrew, it means received doctrine or tradition. In European culture, it became associated with a cult doctrine or a secret. And again, Freemasonry's teachings are based in the Torah. Kabbalah mostly pertains to the Torah. The rituals that are used again and again in the world pertain to the Torah. Again, Exodus, part of the Torah. Exodus 4, the story of Moses and Moses' staff being turned to a snake. Remember, Moses Malone died right before Kobe Bryant's last season, the Black Mamba, a snake. And then 4 years after Moses Malone died, Kobe Bryant died. And then Kobe Bryant died at age 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age, when his name Kobe Bryant equals 41, only for LeBron to win his fourth finals that year, exactly 41 weeks after his own birthday, and he won it on Father-Daughter Day when Kobe and his daughter died. Not to mention the day before Kobe died, LeBron passed Kobe in points scored in Kobe's hometown, Philly, with a court with black snakes on it, only for Kobe to fall to fourth in points scored. Again, we've taught these things a million times. How the biblical stories take place over and over through ritual and riddle. Gematria. Why is there a song called Gematria, the Killing Name? Why did the man who wrote that song, why did he recently come out and say that online conspiracy theorists were driving him nuts? But then in that same statement, he said from now on, he would only perform the song for the Pope. You know? And I'm sure when that article came out about the Slipknot singer saying that, I'm sure what we've been revealing, especially since if you've gone to like their song YouTube post, Google finally deleted it, but had you looked about a year and a half, 2 years back, like almost all the top comments for that song, Slipknot, Gematria, the killing name, and also the Police Murder by Numbers, they were actually people who found this work and then were leaving comments on those music videos about like, hey, you guys need to look into this. YouTube went through and cleaned out all those top comments though. Proof that the Jesuit cabal, and let's not forget that Google celebrates its birthday on September 27th, the day the Jesuits were recognized by Rome. And we'll be getting into that because, again, we talked about Damian Lillard, why he got shipped in a Jesuit ritual on September 27th to the Bucks. And now the Bucks have Doc Rivers as their head coach, who's Jesuit educated at Marquette in Milwaukee, coaching Milwaukee. And we'll get to how perfect it is with Damian Lillard's return to Portland tonight. But yeah, again, I mean, we didn't put all this together overnight, but at the same time, it's like, how can you deny it once it's all presented to you? It's so obvious that this is what's going on. So anyway, Trump, we had it all figured out in 2015, early 2016, and it is true. As 2016 went on, Trump was just acting so ridiculous that I didn't think they could possibly put him in as president. So I was like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're actually going to put Hillary in because nobody wants her, but Trump's so ridiculous. So I did change my mind, but the numbers did show all along that it was going to be Trump. With regards to 2020, we said a year in advance why Joe Biden would become number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday when Catholic equals 46. And we know what happened to Joe Biden's son at age 46 and what happened to JFK at age 46. So anyway, the point is, through understanding this knowledge, which is the knowledge of the cabal, which comes from Kabbalah, you can see the way the game is rigged. And in the same way they script an election by the numbers, they script your sports games, they script your Super Bowls. I mean, did we not have a future in before the season began for 49ers Chiefs for a rematch of the Joe Montana Bowl? Yes, we did. How many years have we nailed futures in all of sports, college and pro? Too many to count. More than I'm pretty sure anyone's ever done before. So, yes, this knowledge does allow you to see in the future, but I would never say that it's because of arithmancy. I'd say it's from understanding the way the game is rigged. So, let's get to why Damian Lillard, the big NBA star who left Portland for Milwaukee in a big Jesuit ritual, is now returning to Portland on his 201st day of his age. So today's January 31st. If Jackie Robinson were alive, it'd be his birthday today. But Bucks and Blazers. Here we are, right? Bucks and Blazers. So let's just go through this. Let's just break it down in real time. This NBA season began on October 24th. October 24th, okay? October 24th, 2023 to today, January 31st, 2024. Today is the 100th day of the NBA season, the 100th day, right? So in the most simple cipher, again, we talk about the 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards and backwards with numerology. Portland equals 100, right? Milwaukee also equals 100. Both Portland and Milwaukee are 100. So the return of Damian Lillard to Portland, now playing for Milwaukee on the 100th day of the season. Now, you can start to see the term here is self-evident. Self-evident. You can see that Portland Trailblazers equals 243. We're going to get to how Damian Lillard comes into tonight's game on 243 road losses for his career. You can also see that when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology, Portland Trailblazers is 126, and he was sent to from the Blazers to the Bucks on September 27th, the big Jesuit day. So let's go back from September 27th to January 31st today is 126 days later, right? So he's going to come back and face his former team 126 days after the move. And let's go to statmuse.com. It's a great website for sports stats. Damian Lillard, all-time record on the road, including playoffs. Damian Lillard on 243 losses. And you know what? With regards to the 185 wins, that's actually pretty interesting as well because basketball equates to 185. So does mathematics 185. Catholicism is 185. If you go to Milwaukee, you'll see that the tallest building in town, what it says on the very top of the building is Catholic Life. And again, now you have the new head coach, Doc Rivers, well, new head coach for the Bucks, who did go to the Jesuit school Marquette in Milwaukee. And not to mention, he just coached his first game on 1/29, 129 days before the finals begin, when 129 is 201 and base 8 counting. But as we always talk about, the Jesuit order is 201, right? Damian Lillard. Let's get up his birthday real quick. Damian Lillard. Now, on this website, it's going to show you that it's 200 days after his birthday, which is true, but it's also his 201st day of his age, which will verify. He's 33 years old, coming back to the 33rd state, Oregon, as the Blazers sit on 33 losses. We just cashed big on their huge upset of 76ers just a couple nights ago. We said, wouldn't it be so perfect if they upset the 76ers to stay on 33 losses before 33-year-old Damian Lillard comes back? And, of course, the Blazers got their only championship in history over the 76ers in the 76-77 season. But Damian Lillard, from his birthday, July 15th, 2023, to today's game, 200 days later, but if you include the start date, it's the 201st day of his age, right? 201. So what is Gematria? It's a key component of Jewish mysticism. Now, who runs the NBA? We know this answer, right? Jewish mysticism, 201. Okay? In that same cipher, the Jesuit order 201. We did the video the day that Damian Lillard got shipped, and we showed what a perfect Jesuit ritual it was and why he was going to the Bucks for their 56th season. Remember, Event 201 was put on by the Jesuit Klaus Schwab, and then the first case of the cooties in the world was 56 days later. And of course, the real name for the cooties has a gematria value of 56. And if you're new here, you should read my book, Number Games, and learn how many 56 rituals there were with the cooties. It connected everything. And it was a Jesuit here, a Jesuit there. You know, guys like Anthony Fauci, guys like Gavin Newsom. These guys are all Jesuits, and they're all Mr. 56s, and they were all doing their own little 56 rituals. And Donald Trump, his Jesuit education, it began 56 years before 2020, and so on. But anyhow, notice Damian Lillard is 56, right? Society of Jesus, the formal title of the Jesuits, is 56. Bucks is 56. Yeah, Bucks won a championship in the time of the Cooties, and they did it over the 56 team, the Phoenix Suns, 56. And again, just so you can see that it's the Bucks' 56th season, here's the Bucks. It's their 56th season, so what a season to get Damian Lillard. And who's the Bucks' big star player besides Damian? It's Giannis, right? You want to know how many days it is after Giannis's birthday today? As he's coming back to Portland too with Damian Lillard? It's 56 days after his birthday. 56 days after his birthday. And again, just the forwards and backwards. The Bucks star Giannis, they got him wearing number 34. Bucks is 56 forwards, 34 in reverse, right? Bucks coming into the 33rd state on 32 wins. Blazers waiting for 33-year-old Damian Lillard on 33 losses, facing the Bucks and Giannis. You know what I mean? Out of the 50 states, by the way, the Blazers coach, Billups, he just got his 74th career win in that symbolic win over the 76ers, who they won their only championship over. But out of the 50 states, only one equates to 74 in the most simple cipher, and that's Oregon. And if you doubt it, just try it out yourself. Once upon a time, I had to do it all by hand. I didn't even have an online calculator to do it. But Oregon, the only state that equals 74, and it's the 33rd state. And that stands out because names like Jesus are 74. Jesus on the cross at 33. Cross is 74. Messiah 74. Gospel 74. Parables 74. Some of the biggest sports stars in the world like Mahomes 74. But anyway, remember, English is 74. Gematria is 74. The most popular video on YouTube about Gematria by a Jewish rabbi, he begins the video by explaining that Gematria is energy. He says Gematria is energy. And then he gets on to explain that that's the real importance of the teaching and why it has an impact and why words have such significance on our lives. But think about that. English 74, Gematria 74, Energy 74. So to say that this isn't Gematria is just stupid. It's self-evident that it was encoded into the language. You know, to be a gas station clerk and be making videos day after day saying there's no proof that there's a 4-base ciphers when we're laying out everything that's being done every day just makes you look like a gas station attendant, I suppose. But anyway, again, occult means hidden. This is the hidden code behind the English language. Holiday 74. Why do you think there's a song called Gematria, the killing name? And killing is also 74. And then 3 of the first 5 presidents all died on 7-4. And the first 2 that died, Jefferson and Adams, died on the same day. And they were both worried about what would happen when the Jesuits came out of suppression. They were some of the most outspoken founders against the Jesuits and the concern of them coming back. And again, I mean, Independence Day is 74. You really think that it's all by accident? So, anyhow, coming back to this game, Bucks and Blazers. I just want you to see something real quick. I want you to see how clever all of these things are, because this will be one of the most interesting games in history between the Blazers and Bucks because of just the significance of Damian Lillard, this huge star in the franchise history, going to this team and now coming back for the first time at that magical age of 33 in the 33rd state. Bucks all-time record versus Blazers, including playoffs. Do you see how the Bucks are 81-53 versus the Blazers? 81-53. And the Blazers' actual name is Trailblazers, is their real name. But notice, Trailblazers. Isn't it interesting that Trailblazers equals 53 and 82? You know, of course, there's an 82-game season in the NBA. The word game itself is 82. Baseball, for example, 162-game season. Baseball, one of my favorite words to always show people. 162 in reverse to go at the games of the season. 54 for the outs in a game. 18 for the half innings. Baseball, 54 forwards and backwards. Throw on the Major League Baseball, 162 forwards. When you say, like, where's proof that there's 4-base ciphers, you must not have logic or common sense or understand, again, the phrase self-evident. So, just to come back to the Damian Lillard trade. Again, just Milwaukee and Portland with the perfect overlap. Bucks, Damian Lillard, Society of Jesus, all 56, getting shipped over for the Bucks 56th season. Now he comes back to Portland 56 days after Giannis's birthday on the 100th day of the season. It's the Blazers' 54th season. I guess that would be the one prayer for the Blazers tonight, that the Bucks could get their 54th loss. Here, I'll show you something interesting about the network ESPN. You see how baseball is 54-18? If you don't know the history of ESPN, ESPN began as a baseball-only network. It didn't even cover other sports. It only covered baseball when it first began. And you see how ESPN is 54-18, forwards and backwards? Tonight's game is on ESPN. So that'd be your prayer for the Blazers. But, yeah, if you didn't know that, look into that history. These things are not an accident. ESPN all the day, every day, coding out their headlines. Perfect timestamps on their stories day after day. They put the timestamp and the number of the story that corresponds with the significant number to the story. So, and there's examples like this just day after day in sports. Yesterday, another flawless day in the NBA. We've been having a lot of really great days in the NBA this season. You just learn consistent numbers. You see how the Lakers picked up their 17th road loss versus the Hawks? What's Hawks equal? 17. And see, out of these 4 ciphers, when I first began, that dark blue one, the alphabetic order with numerology known as Pythagorean gematria, it was the cipher I did almost all my work in. And this is Manly P. Hall's The Secret Teachings of All Ages. There is a section in this book In my version, it begins on page 63, called Pythagorean Mathematics. And about third of the way through this section, I'll read this paragraph here. I don't know if it's too small to show up, but the one cipher he puts on for the English language is this one, the alphabetic order with numerology, which has always been the most useful cipher in pretty much all decoding, sports, news. But here's what he wrote. So again, I read this once upon a time, and then I put it to the test. He writes, there is also a system of calculation in vogue for the English language, but its accuracy is a matter of legitimate dispute. Keep in mind, this book is written in 1926, so it's almost 100 years old now. It is comparatively modern and has no relationship either to the Hebrew Kabbalistic system or to the Greek procedure. And he shouldn't have wrote that because he's wrong. There's a lot of overlap actually with Hebrew and English. Israel, Netanyahu, God, they all have the same numerical value in Hebrew and English, and the list goes on. So, anyway, the claim made by some that it is Pythagorean is not supported by any tangible evidence, and there are many reasons why such a contention is untenable. The fact that Pythagoras used 10 as the basis of calculation, while this system uses 9, an imperfect number, is in itself almost conclusive. Furthermore, the arrangement of the Greek and Hebrew letters does not agree closely enough with the English to permit the application of the number sequence of one language to the number sequence of the others. Further experimentation with the system may prove profitable, but it is without basis in antiquity. The arrangement of the letters and numbers is as follows. And then he gives the exact same cipher you see there. A through I is 9. J becomes 1. It's the same cipher system. So I read this once upon a time. And again, I was trying to figure out what was going on in our society with all these number rituals. And I started to look into it. And I just noticed right away that, well, this is definitely what they're doing because it's lining up every day with news stories, sports outcomes. And again, the rest is history. So that was the paragraph that I found online in an excerpt, and it just made me look into it. And back then I had to do everything by hand. But here, Hawks yesterday. Let's just go through the 5 games. Hawks yesterday picked up the 17th road loss. You see this Celtics-Pacers game? Right before this game happened, they put out a story, and we've already talked about this, news and sports. They put out a story that Rajon Rondo, however you say his first name, who used to play for the Celtics, had just been arrested in Indiana at age 37, and Rondo's birthday is the 22nd day of the second month. So right after that story, the Celtics pick up their 37th win over Indiana, where Rondo just got arrested at age 37, and then they became 22-2 at home when that's Rondo's birthday. And you see how Pacers also has the gematria of 37 when you run it in reverse numerology? And understand, forwards and backwards, self-evident. Kobe Bryant, dead on the 26th and on the 37th death anniversary of Bear Bryant. So that's how you can always see the forwards and backwards. So important. Kobe Bryant, 41 forwards, dead at 41 on the Pope's 41st day of his age, traveling from Catholic Mass. Kobe Bryant, 157 in reverse, dead on the 157th day of his own age, the 37th prime number. Kobe Bryant, 58 in reverse. Los Angeles Lakers, 58 forwards. This year, they're putting up his statue on the 24th death anniversary of number 58, Derek Thomas of the Chiefs, when the Chiefs have been the hottest team in football since Kobe died. Kobe Bean Bryant, 54, dead the Sunday before Super Bowl 54. And where Bryant's 26 and Kobe Bryant's 41, remember, Mahomes won that game with his 26th completion to number 26 on his 41st pass attempt in the Super Bowl. When we talk about the same patterns every year. And this year, he picked up his 41st road win over Baltimore to advance to the Super Bowl, becoming 4-1 versus Baltimore all time as Brock Purdy became 4-1 in the playoffs. So, again, this is 1926 information that gives you a clue. This is 2024 information, plus the past decade of proving the point of what he introduced and said, it could be profitable. It could be profitable. It sure has been. He laid it out, but he said it needs further research. He should have left out the sentence about how there's no connection with English and Hebrew and Greek, because that's wrong. So, but again, if he were alive today, he'd probably rewrite that sentence, So, Again, a moron would come across and be like, oh, well, look, in 1926 it said this, so let's just scratch the last decade of everything Zach's proven. That's how a moron's mind works. And that's why morons' opinions don't matter. And that's why a lot of morons don't, like they end up their destiny is the counter at the Chevron station. So anyway. And by the way, that I know some smart people in the world might work at a gas station because they just don't care, and that's all they aspire to do. But again, just the guy's sidekick who's making the videos with him is a guy who can't stop getting DUIs and keeps losing his job, and now the best he can do is maybe picking up a job as a server at the diner. Again, you got to pay attention to who you're listening to in this world: alcoholics, drug addicts, Chevron clerks. Probably not the most important people to listen to in the world, yours truly, not to toot my own horn, but top of my class for almost all of my life, master's degree, could have gone a lot further, but got burnt out with the school system. So anyway, but yeah, doesn't it all just make too much sense? How can all the Jesuit rituals be so perfect? How can all the patterns just keep happening? Year after year, season after season, day after day, should be pretty self-evident that this is what they're doing. If you never watched this video from years ago, this was remember once upon a time when we could still get views? This video right here, 142,000 views from 4 years ago. And this is even when we were starting to get censored bad. It couldn't even get the views. But it's like I just can't get any views anymore. This game, you guys, not only before this game was played, you see how it says he hit a 37-foot game winner? If you go back and dig through my Patreon, you can find our live stream from before this game was played. We called Lillard to hit the game winner, possibly at the buzzer. It was all about 37. I want to say like the Blazers got their 37th postseason win maybe over the Thunder, something like that. But there were like so many 37s on the game. It was perfectly synced with Lillard's birthday. And it was like, oh my God, not only does he hit the game winner, he hits a 37-footer. Portland 37. Now Milwaukee 37. So, but yeah, once upon a time, YouTube allowed us to have views. Not anymore. Now everything's got to say it got 1,500 views. It got 2,000 views. Maybe it got 5,000 views. And that's a testament to the work too. They had to bury it because it was waking up too many people. So, all right. If you'd like to join the stream, there is a link pinned in the comments. That's a way to join. I'll also put the phone number up if you want to call in instead, if that's an easier way for you. But we will take calls. And again, it's TFR, so it's kind of always open mic. But if you want to keep it to the subject of maybe the knowledge of Gematria and what it's brought to your life, what's been helpful, has it taken you out of the matrix? Are you no longer emotionally invested in the sports, the politics? Are you no longer scared by the fear-driven news? I mean, that's the reason I've taught this knowledge, to help people see how rigged the game is and why the game needs to be stopped. So those kind of calls would be great. And let's get our definition back up here. And yeah, if you want to talk more about sports, that's okay. Of course, the Super Bowl is coming up. So many people focused on that. And yeah, let me open up the phone line. So 2 ways to join the show. You can call in or you can hit the top pin comment. And hold up. I got to say shout out to Nathan. Thank you very much, Nathan. Nathan said, I brought this up before. Slipknot spelled Gematria wrong the way it shows on the pic for the song upload. Check my pinned tweet. Also, the lyrics 12/8/73 is the singer's birthday. I see. All right, hold on. Let me pull up Nathan's. Let's see here. Yeah, I see that they dropped a T. That's interesting that they did that. Yeah, but the actual song title is Gematria, the killing name. I don't know. It could just be a typo, or maybe there is a reason they did it. I haven't looked into it. Okay. All right. By the way, there is a John in the room, but John, you have to at least connect your mic. Otherwise, I can't call on you because right now it says no device is connected. So you have to allow access to your mic. Oh,
James. Yeah, everybody.
Actually, let me play this too. On the fourth death anniversary of Kobe Bryant, there was an episode of Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. Again, HBO, totally Jesuit network, founded by a Jesuit. Bill Maher's half Catholic, half Jewish. Major shill for the system. A guy who made a lot of money off making jokes about Bin Laden after the biggest joke on America, and he always told the mainstream line about that. But he had Stephen A. Smith on, who's Mr. Basketball, right? And let me see. Let me change the let's change this setting here. All right. Sound's going to be a little bit different, but it'll be better for phone calls. I'm going to play this clip. It's on my phone. I want you to listen to what Bill Maher said about what he thinks about sports. It's just unbelievable. And it's just, the guy's just talking out of his ass. There's no way that he means what he's about to say. He's not this dumb of a guy, but of course he's got to pander for his fellow Jesuits and their sports enterprises, especially right as the Super Bowl comes underway. Listen to this. I mean, this might be the funniest thing Bill Maher ever said. Here he is.
Wants to see him play with his father, right, but he will not get on that team unless he absolutely earns it.
Oh, snap. What happened? Hold on. Something happened. How did it go ahead? Oh, snap. I had it in the right spot. I don't know how it jumped ahead. Here it is. I think it's right here. Here we go. This is what you got to hear.
The other thing I think why I love sports is like I did a whole thing on the show once. It's the last institution I can trust. Like I don't trust anything. I don't trust the media. I don't trust the government.
I don't blame you.
No, I'm right.
I don't blame you.
I mean, how can sports be the last institution you trust? I mean, did he watch the games this weekend? Did he watch how Baltimore couldn't get a single penalty to save their life, and Kansas City got away with pass interference and defensive holding the entire game? It's just so. But if you want to be on TV and make the big bucks, you just got to lie to your audience nonstop. Sell them every single lie you can possibly think of. So what a joke! And Stephen A. Smith's an even bigger joke. But yeah, I had to see what happened in the anniversary of the Kobe death episode, and it was that. So. All right. If you do want to phone in, I probably got to open up the phone line here, don't I? It's probably, let me see. Okay. The phone line is now open. So if you want to call in, the line is open 509-560-4982. All right. Let's see. 547. 547, you're on. Or 541, actually.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Yep.
I thought what you saying about Chevron attendance?
What do I think about what?
Why you hating on Chevron attendance?
Because the troll who keeps making these stupid posts every day is a Chevron gas station attendant. That's why.
Well, I'm a Chevron gas attendant, and I signed up for your Patreon, and I don't like the way you use the N-word, man.
Well, I don't use the N-word, and by the way, so obviously you're a troll, audio troll, but I also just said, there might be some decent gas station attendants out there, but see, there's another troll, so he might also be a troll at a Chevron gas station. And the thing about the one I'm talking about is his teeth are all black. He's got already missing some of his teeth. It's like he looks like the stereotype of what your mom told you never to grow up to be. Apply yourself so you don't end up looking like a homeless, worthless piece of shit that works at a gas station. Anyhow, 253.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
This is Dr. Jefferson with the Downtown Clinic.
Okay. Oh, man, the trolls are always the ones, the first to call in, so. Eight, 3, 2.
Hey, Jack?
Yeah, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? My name is Michael. I've been watching the videos for, I don't know, since 2020, and they really woke me up to what's really going on, man.
I can't hear your phone. I can't hear your signal.
Oh, shit. I'm in the, hold up. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. It's still hard to hear.
Oh, shit. Let me get out the building.
Here, give us a call back. We'll be here. 817.
Hello?
Hello.
Yo, hey man, shout out to you for doing the Gematria stuff. I agree with you, man. A lot of this shit got to be exposed, man. It's crazy. It is a slap in the face. And it's so crazy because I'm from Dallas. I grew up a diehard Dallas Mavericks fan. You know what I'm saying? It's just not rocket science. And it sucks because I have been brainwashed to watch this shit, man. It's crazy. But I want your thoughts on this. Do you think every athlete, when they go try to be professional, do you think at one point do you have to sign up to be a part of this circus show, or are they born into it, or like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know if you can ever say like every, but if you can go back and watch the NFL where Clowney wins the number one pick, as they were going to commercial break after the selection, they had him say, "I sold my soul for this." So, and then, I mean, there was an NBA draft a few years ago where when the players got drafted, they were giving them a necklace, and like half the guys taken in the first round you only got a necklace if one or both of your parents were dead, but it was a necklace with a picture of your dead parent. About half the players taken in the first round got one of those necklaces. And then it was like an ongoing story of like, hey, it's amazing, like all the tragedies that so many of these young men have had to suffer already at this far in their life. And it's just like, God, is anyone watching what's going on? I mean, like, how many 18, 19, 20-year-olds have already lost one or both parents? Half the guys in the first round got one of these. And what a weird thing to do. So, I mean, I feel like when they're doing that stuff, they're putting in front of your face what's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the slap in the face. I feel like the fact that Jimmy Butler, Anthony Edwards look just like Michael Jordan, bro.
Exactly, and they probably are Jordan's son. A guy called in the other day, and he was like, "You know Anthony Edwards?" I said, "Jordan's son, you mean?" He goes, "No, not Jordan's son, Anthony Edwards." I go, "Yeah, I mean Jordan's son. Look at him." So,
hey, do you think like Jordan, was like a good product? He was successful. Do you think Jordan actually fucked these women, or do you think they just take his DNA and just like a lab-grown baby? You know what I'm saying? They have handlers to raise it.
It's that's entirely possible that they got Jordan semen and they're doing the whatever they call that when they put in the woman and she. I mean, it could be like that. That's totally possible.
Even with Victor Wembanyama, the thing is he's an alien. It's all like, bro, I don't know, like these guys seem to come out of nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I ain't trying to take too much of your time, but I want to say, bro, I appreciate the content. I do remember I've been put on your channel for like a few years ago. And your channel was huge, bro. You used to get like a lot of views. And I was seeing like your views are capped to like, I feel like 1,500, 1,000. And it's like, that shit crazy. Like I said, it's proof that you onto something big, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. And I think a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people are dumb. But I feel like by the time you get like 30 or 40, ain't no way you can watch these sports and know like this shit is not fake. Even if you have any common sense, like if this is a $1 billion industry, you don't think there's no corruption, bro? You don't think there's no corruption?
Exactly.
And I feel like people don't want to believe. Like, I'm a diehard Dallas Mavericks friend. I know this shit is fucked up, but every once in a while, I just want to believe that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck it is, man. It's like a trance or something I can spell, but it's not like I just try to believe that me watching the game and I'm really, you know what I'm saying, this is gonna be the true outcome and all that shit. But honestly, these days I can't even watch the game, bro. Especially basketball. The referees and the calls, like it's just washed down. It's just a 3-point fucking contest. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
Exactly. The NBA has become the worst.
Keep going, man.
All right, appreciate it. By the way, I didn't finish with the 5 games yesterday. So the Knicks, they're facing the Jazz. The Jazz coach stayed on 61 wins, just so you guys can see it. New York Knicks 61, and then he plays Philadelphia next, the Jazz do. So he's staying on 61 wins versus the Knicks. And now he's going into Philadelphia on 61 wins. The Raptors and Bulls, sometimes you got to be logical. We said, well, the Bulls' next game's against the Hornets, and that team has the Jordan connection, and Jordan wore 23. And the Bulls were a big favorite last night, so huge payout on the Raptors last night. So I don't think the Bulls are going to get that 23rd win versus the Raptors. Jordan doesn't have any history with the Raptors. Sure enough, next thing you know, Bulls get major upset, nice payout. And then Warriors and 76ers was Lock City because, I mean, first of all, it's obvious. The Warriors become 20-24 in 2024, but the Warriors always doing rituals with Philly because that's where they're originally from. And we've talked about this a million times. Back in the day, they played in Oracle Arena, which was 106 feet tall. Oracle has to do with future telling. The word prophecy is 106. Let me see what it was. I can't remember if it was hold on. I got to look in the standings. If it was Philadelphia. Hold up. Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia fell to 10-6 versus the West. Like 106, like prophecies 106, like how Revelation, the book of prophecy, mentions Philly. We've talked about 106 in Philly sports a million times. Philadelphia Phillies is even 106 and on and on and on. So, 5 narratives last night, all winners. And again, I mean, the application of this, sports, news, politics.
I got one quick question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question. When it comes to Kobe and his death, and then do you think I hear people say it's like pharmaceutical company. Like what do you think was the main reason the industry would sacrifice one of its biggest stars, you know what I'm saying, of all time?
Well, first of all, is he really dead is a question. I mean, is Kobe even really dead is the question. So we don't know that he's really dead. But, okay, LeBron got his 4th championship. Manly P. Hall has another book, not this one, it's in another book, where he writes about numbers. And he talks about the numbers 1 through 10. It's a short book. But he gets to how important 4 is to death. How important 4 is to death. So again, LeBron passes Kobe the day before Kobe dies. Kobe fell to 4th in points scored. And then LeBron won his 4th championship later that year in the NBA bubble, which was in Orlando, the same place that Kobe won his 4th championship against Orlando, right? The Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
And when Kobe died, he did die 201 days before Magic Johnson's birthday. And then they buried Kobe in Corona Del Mar's coronavirus was getting underway. And from Kobe's last birthday to the day the pandemic was declared was 201 days later. And again, he died synced with the Pope, we got the first Jesuit Pope, the first living Suite 201. So if Kobe, and here's the other thing, they called Kobe the Black Mamba. Black Mamba venom stops people's hearts. And we've heard a lot of stories about people's hearts stopping since the pandemic began. So if Kobe really was taken, it's in part because he had that right nickname. And again, they put him in Corona Del Mar, supposedly in an unmarked grave. So again, and then you had mass death all over the world. So that might very well, again, it was all, Kobe's somebody who's known worldwide, right? Like probably in all of our lifetimes, that's probably the most, would you say that's the most shocking death of a celebrity in your lifetime?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, even more than Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was at least kind of old,
Well, he wasn't that old either. I mean, that's probably the second most shocking. He was only 50, right? Kobe was 41. But both relatively young. And I'd agree, that's probably the second most shocking. And then Prince might be the third. And they're all none of them are that old, and they're all megastars. But Kobe's death, because he was still seen as pretty young, 41, just freshly out of the NBA, again, it like really sunk people. It put them in a low vibration. And the next thing you know, everybody's on lockdown and being fear-mongered about how they could die from this deadly virus. And then you're right. They tied in the Kobe that he was suing some pharmaceutical company that used his Black Mamba branding without his permission. So they even had a pharmaceutical tie-in with the Kobe story. And so I think that he had all the right ingredients and just the power of his celebrity to create the vibration or the energy field that they wanted in society. And that's the way I see how they did it. And again, while traveling from Catholic mass too. So
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. But hey, man, appreciate it, bro. I'm gonna keep listening.
yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. That's true. Yeah, Kobe with the 666 workout, the career high in his 666th game. So he had some evil type of stuff going on with him as well. All right, we got Midwest Perspective in the building.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, Zach, man? I appreciate you, brother. I'm calling from Michigan, and I've been following you since 2020. And when I guess I'm calling to share my story on how I found Gematria in an organic way, because stuff was physically happening to me in my life, like waking up and seeing the same numbers and getting gas and seeing the same numbers. And so I would look up, go to my Google search and be like, what does it mean when this happens? Or what does it mean when I keep seeing this? And it brought up the word Gematria. And I'm like, what the fuck is Gematria? So I'm looking into it. I then stumbled upon your page on YouTube. And to be honest with you, when I first came across your work, I was like, man, I ain't got time for this shit. This is like, I was so brainwashed because I was still living for the world, still watching football games, still drinking the Bud Light, and it was like, I watched you for a little bit and it was like, so I quit for a little while. And then stuff, would continuously happen to me in my life to lead me back down these rabbit holes of gematria and numerology and, and then speaking biblically in some aspects. But so then I sat down and I'm like, I'll give this gematria thing a try. So I put my name in the gematria calculator, and I don't want to put out too much details because it's really personal. And it would pinpoint my location, and I don't need those headaches. But
sure, yeah, just keep it vague.
So my name in Gematria is 33. Okay. In 2020, I turned 33 years old, and I read the Bible, and of course, Jesus was sacrificed at the age of 33, and so on. So 33 was a number that woke me up. And that's what I meant at the beginning of the call, is I said I would wake up at like 3:33 in the morning, like for a week straight. And I would go get gas at the gas station and pay $33, and the gas was $3.33 a gallon. And I'm like, man, this isn't a coincidence. So that's how it led me down the rabbit hole to begin with. And so, but like I have at least like 15 examples, including my birthday. I can tell you my birthday because that doesn't really matter. My birthday is January 25th, 1987. And when you add the numbers together, it equals 33. So I have like 15 examples I could sit here and tell you that it all lines up to a T. When I was 33 years old, I'm now 37. But when I bought my first house at the age of 33, my address has something to do, with my life, and the street that I live on has something to do, and my P.O. box ties into. It was just mind blowing, and I honestly feel it was a message from God, because that's my beliefs, that there's a higher God and it just there's no coincidences in life, man. Everything happens for a reason. And that's just my honest beliefs. And so I've spent the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 years maybe, like really watching your work, really trying to understand it, and then I kind of got a grasp on some of it. I still don't know a lot, and I'm still learning, but like some of the stuff I do know, like the whole 9/11 thing, the number 42 with Black History, February's 42, and all this, like I try to teach other people, and it has caused every single person in my life to quit talking to me. I'm just going to let you know, because they don't want to accept this knowledge as truth. And they look at me like I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. And mind you, I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I don't even take Tylenol for a headache, dude. My mind is so pure, like when it comes to comprehending things, you know? So it's just crazy, man. I mean, I wish I could sit down with you one day and just have like a personal conversation and really, you know, tell you what I'm talking about, because there's no other explanation for it. Absolutely. You know, I can't make this stuff up. And so that led me to you. And so I just want to, you know, thank you. I appreciate your work, man. And unfortunately, I can't, you know, help fund you, because I honestly live paycheck to paycheck, you know, and I got kids and a family to raise. But I do try to educate other people on this gematria, this hidden language. You know, this country is not really what we think it is. We've been lied to our entire lives. You know, I understand the Titanic was an inside job with JP Morgan wanting the federal government, you know, and 9/11's inside. I mean, so yeah, I get called a conspiracy theorist, but it's like, I just watch you every day, and it's like, man, there's no, you can't make this stuff up. And you know way more details into it than what I do, like the whole Kobe Bryant thing. I just learned a little bit more with Kobe Bryant. But yeah, man, it's just mind blowing that a lot of people out here who are more smart than I am, you know, because they went to college and got indoctrinated, they should be able to put 2 and 2 together, and they can't. It's just like, this country.
Just so you know, just for the record, I identify with everything you're saying, and there absolutely is an organic side to it. And again, that you can tell that that's where the original idea and concept comes from in the Book of Formation, that God created the world with numbers, letters, and words. It sounds absurd if you just haven't ever thought about it. It's just like, how could that be? That doesn't make sense to me. But start a layer, you're like, wow, there really is something to this. And I've been saying the same thing since I was 18 and 9/11 happened. I said, it seems like everybody's under a spell. And then you start to study the dark half of Kabbalah. It's about sorcery and spell casting and having influence over people. And you, myself, and all the other people pretty much in this community are all going through the same thing, where the people around us, we try to share with them this very logical and evidence-based information, and we get greeted the same way. You sound crazy. They don't want to talk to you anymore. It's just like, my core group of friends who I had until 2013, when I found this, I'm not friends with them anymore. They don't talk to me. I'm excluded from the group. When I found this out, my friend's wedding wasn't that far off, and I was to be, you know, one of the best men in his wedding. Not only did I not go to the wedding, I became totally not invited. He said he didn't want me there. He thought I'd become some weirdo because I was showing, you know, that these little simple codes back then. And so, I mean, trust me, I totally get what you're saying, and a lot of people do. And it's frustrating, but it hasn't made me stop, because I realize, like, obviously I'm not crazy, and I've been putting up with this for all of my life, being called crazy for calling out what's wrong and seeing through what's wrong, and essentially the sorcery from the cabal. Again, people are saying I was crazy because I was questioning 9/11. I knew I wasn't crazy for questioning 9/11. It was just such an obvious lie to me. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, just realize you're not alone. But hey, good for you for continuing on the path anyway. And because other people have been confronted with these same problems, and they said, just forget it. I'm just going back to hang out with my friends, and I'm putting everything back under the rug and just doing what I got to do to fit in. And that's part of the problem too. We're never going to overcome what's upon us as a society if people are too afraid to, you know, learn about these things and confront these things. And I hope in time that as our numbers grow, it'll become more common to pursue understanding what's really going on in the world. So
yeah, and like you said, like everybody in my family quit talking to me, my cousins, you know, my friends. I had a best friend of 17 years that I was supposed to be his best man in his wedding. That didn't happen. Because it was like to the point where I'm like, dude, you're a fucking sheep, man. How do you not see this shit that's going on in the world? It's not a coincidence that 30 3 years later, after George Bush graduates Yale, that the towers come crashing down with buildings 1, 2, and 7, and they compare it to Pearl Harbor, which is on December 7th. It's like, I only have a high school education, and I can understand this shit. So it's like,
And
man,
look, they're doing it again, right? Now it's the 3 troops at Tower 22 and supposedly killed on 127.
yeah. Just mockery, man. I get it, and I'm still learning it, but I comprehend it. I understand it, and I'm trying. I'm still trying. I'm kicking the dead horse, but I'm still trying to wake people up to this knowledge, man. Because if we won the war against the British, we'd be speaking German. We wouldn't be speaking English. And English is the only language that you can do to have a hidden meaning behind it with the numbers and letters.
Well, in terms of how it's synced up with this calendar, right? I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but that's all I got, brother. I appreciate you, man, and I'll keep trying to, I share damn near every one of your videos with people that don't want to hear it. So I just keep on pushing, man. I don't know what else to do. I'm not financially in the position to, I'm sure, I could afford $1 a month, like you're saying, if each person just vouched $1 a month, that would help you out. But I mean, I don't know.
It's okay.
Maybe
I appreciate that you're out there sharing the work. That's really, if everybody was doing that, it would be even better. So keep it up, man. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care. All right, we got a call from 714.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good.
First off, I just want to say, obviously, like everyone says, hate to be a dead horse, but I appreciate what you're doing for everybody in the community. Speaking up. But I had a question. I just popped. The story just came across on my social media about 3 guys who died out in the cold in front of their buddy's house in Kansas City.
That story's been buzzing for. Yeah, that study's been buzzing since the divisional round. It happened after the divisional round game the week before the conference championships, and we've been saying, three dead Chiefs fans, and in the picture they're all in Mahomes jerseys. Like,
I was wondering if they're trying to indicate, if that's kind of a way to say Mahomes is going to get a 3rd ring.
Well, these are the kind of clues they just put out year after year, So Jackie Robinson statue disappeared right before the conference championship, number 42. And of course, he began his baseball career with the Kansas City Monarchs, and Mahomes' father was a baseball player. So yeah, I mean, just you pay attention to these little stories they're telling you. Right before the conference championship, also the supposedly AI porn of Taylor Swift at a Kansas City Chiefs game that got, according to the media, 58,000 reposts. So
Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me. I mean, the story says that for 2 days, the buddy inside didn't even come out, and that he's not even a suspect, or that they just let him go, walk off scot-free.
His name is Jordan Willis as well, and like Willis is a name associated with a star player for the 49ers, Patrick Willis. Willis.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know all about Patrick Willis and all that, and because I obviously followed sports and everything like that, but I don't know, there was just a lot of stuff that it just didn't make sense. I kind of knew ahead of the season going in with everyone was on this whole color thing, and it felt too obvious. It was getting way too much media attention. It just felt too obvious. They were downplaying Mahomes from the beginning of the season. It just felt way too obvious that it would be Ravens Niners.
Yeah. For the record, here's what they did with the purple and red, logo. So obviously Ravens and Chiefs was purple and red. And again, in the NFC, you had 49ers and Lions, Niners in red. But the original Lions franchise, the Portsmouth Spartans, which they began as, wore purple. So they had like a purple and red thing going in each conference championship this year. And Taylor Swift's album that she put out right before the season began was also purple. So that's probably, and the title of that album equals 104, just like her name, to go with the 104th season. So,
Jesus, yeah, man. I just think more people need to wake up and realize that whatever they want to believe, there's something going on with these numbers and how this shit plays out.
Indeed, there is. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you have a good one. Thank you. 708. 708. You got to mute the video. When you guys call in, you got to mute the video and just talk through the phone. 708.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I can.
Hey. Yeah, I wanted to call in and touch up on something about Kobe Bryant again. Yeah, like, you know how like his name is 157 in that reverse, 113 in the ordinal. You know how, like you mentioned before, Kobe got that biblical connection, and redeemed is actually 157 in reverse. And you know, in the Bible it says that, you know, it talks about people being redeemed from the earth, as in, of course, the rapture in the book of Revelation. Now, the word raptured is 113 in the same cipher. And it just kind of makes me think, like, especially, you know, when you see, like, you know, I just feel like the government definitely has a lot to do with, you know, a lot of the, you know, cancers, you know, they're developing, people getting cancer. If you check, the word cancerous is 144 in that same cipher, and lymphoma is 113 in that same cipher. So it's just something to think of, that, like, also the word danger is 113 in that same cipher. And it's just like, makes me think, like, you know, it's somewhere encoded in there that, you know, exactly what you mean, that redeemed, that raptured, that cancerous, you know, that's encoded to let you know that they killing people, you know, in certain ways. And, you know, lymphoma is one of them. So it's just something I wanted to, like, point out because of Kobe's name and him dying on the 157th day of his age, and just that cipher and that connection there.
Sure. And you bringing up cancer, I just want to remind people that Pfizer just bought Seagen, who's making all these cancer drugs, on the anniversary of the COVID vaccine going live in the US, and they bought them while their share value had fallen to $26 per share when cancer has that Gematria 26. And again, these things are ritualistic, and the people who run these companies, they know when to sell high and buy low, and you just see the ritualism of it. Ever since the jabs have gone online, all kinds of people have developed cancer. My brother-in-law is dying. He's probably not going to live that much longer. He's a doctor. Of course, he had to get the jabs to work at the hospital, and now he's got cancer all throughout his body. And he's not that old. He's older than me because my sister's 12 years older than me, and he's a decade older than her, so he's in his early 60s, but that's still not that old. And again, you know, sweet lady where she works, also at a medical facility, 2 of the younger people there have developed cancer. And one of her coworkers just recently passed in their sleep in their mid-30s. So yeah, all of this is by design, and this is why ignorance isn't bliss. All these people who trusted the TV and all the fear mongering and went out and did what they were told because they got fear mongered into it, they're reaping the consequences. And we were here all along pointing out all the rituals and, you know, why you should not participate in the jab, especially when Bill Gates is leading the way. And he spoke very clearly in his 2010 TED Talk, Innovating to Zero. He talked about why we need to reduce the human population to save the earth. And he gave out a list of ways to reduce the population. And I'm not allowed to say what the number one thing was on his list, but anyone can look it up. If you've never watched 2010 TED Talk, for all the people out there, Innovating to Zero by Bill Gates, go listen. It's probably about 5-6 minutes in where he says what needs to be done to reduce the human population, and you won't miss the first thing that he says.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your brother-in-law. And yeah, just, you know, the fear-mongering, the way they do is definitely a strategic design. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. That's pretty much all I had, though, Zach.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
The thing is, you know, I mean, I feel bad for my brother-in-law, but for the last decade, he's been saying I'm a weirdo and, you know, that all this stuff I'm doing is bullshit. And, you know, he's learning the lesson the hard way. So, and when I was a teenager, I learned to eat a very healthy diet, and he used to make fun of that too. And he was eating the same way as I was, but then he went out and got the jab, and well, the rest is history. So, and he's a doctor, and that's why I learned at a young age that I don't really care what doctors think, because they're just indoctrinated too. They don't know anything about nutrition. They're just doing what their textbook told them that was probably put together by the Rockefeller family. 678. You got to mute your video, 678.
Is this 678-260-7037?
Hey, that's obviously your number.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to mute this. I'm sorry about that. Let me mute this. My name is Ishmael. Zach, how you doing, man? Nice to meet you, brother. I just want to tell you, man, I really appreciate you. I've been listening to you for years. And I go as far back as Louisiana college games, when you were out there pounding the pavement. Further back than that, when you were talking about coming to Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta right now. And if anybody's listening to Zach right now that's in Atlanta, I don't know if this means anything, Zach, but Microsoft opened up one of their big corporations out here. And I was just driving up the street because my grandmother lives down the street from the place. And I just happened to look up, and right directly across the street from the Microsoft Corporation is the address 201. I just laughed about it. I hope you can still hear me.
I can. I'm laughing.
I'm on a headset. But I also wanted to tell you, Zach, that you're my hero. And I say that like a brother from another mother. I wish there were times when I could have reached out to you earlier and pound the pavement with you when you were in New York, Los Angeles, Louisiana. There was a time when there was a lot of stuff going on in Atlanta. You were talking about coming here, and I wanted to reach out to you. I have a restaurant, and I'm pretty busy. So what I was doing over the years is just sending you money on Patreon every month. And this so happened one month, my wife and I were sitting there watching you, and she goes, "Hey, babe, I noticed Zachary hasn't been getting money from your Cash App." And I looked, and I realized she was right. And so I'm one of these people that you've been telling people about how they've been messing with your money, messing with your viewership. And I bear witness, and this is mostly to the people that's new, that's listening to you. You're the absolute truth, brother. I'm a Muslim, and like the caller who called in a few calls back, who was talking about the organic numbers. I think his birthday was somewhere in January. He's similar to me in terms of astrology. I'm an Aquarius just like him. My birthday's coming up February the 12th. And I also believe that I kind of lost my train of thought there, Zachary, because I'm so excited, man. There's so much I want to tell you. But real quick, I want to say this, that when you were talking about sports years ago, I was peeping out all the games. The one that got me the most is the one when you did the World Cup. That was the icing on the cake for me, with the whole Jesuit ritual, with the Pope. And like the caller before, that's an Aquarius like me, and I could tell, I felt his passion, and he's very sincere. I know if he had the extra money, he would send you all the money he could, just like I would. And I will tell you this, when you talked about the Super Bowl in February, when the Kansas City Chiefs was in it, and halftime, Mahomes walked out with a limp. What are your callers? And you have a brilliant group of followers, by the way, Zachary, that I respect. They're very knowledgeable, and I'm sure you're happy for that. But one of their callers had said that he had made a connection with the ankle injury, and he was talking about the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And me being an Aquarius, I caught that, and he was so right. So I just want to let you know, man, your work is not in vain. People are listening. You're winning, brother. You're winning. I see you sometimes you get frustrated. I love it when you get frustrated, because I'm frustrated right there with you. And I'm just as passionate as you are. I want to go out here, man, and educate people as much as I can and fight this fight. But I just want to let you know, don't give up. Like I said, I don't know if you're still listening, if I'm still online.
You're on.
Cut it short, but I just want to let you know, brother, that I love you, man. And one day, God willing, I'm going to meet you. I'm going to tell you a whole lot about me. I'm going to explain to you a lot of the misconceptions that are out here in the world by the magicians that are performing this magic
on these religions, like my own religion, Islam, because there's a lot of Muslims out here that are being miseducated themselves. There's so many things, brother, that you're right on point about that I can't take the time right now to tell you. But God willing, I'm going to be linking with you soon again. You will be seeing my Patreon page connected with yours again. You will be receiving that money that they took from you that you rightfully are owed. But I'm going to let you go, brother. But my name is Ishmael. Remember that. Ishmael.
I won't forget the name. For people to know, there's a great book out there titled Ishmael. I think everybody should read that book. But I really appreciate the call, Ishmael. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You have a great day.
You too, brother.
All right. Take care. Yeah. If you never read the book Ishmael, you should read that one. It's a winner. It's somewhere back on that bookshelf back there. 480.
Hello.
Hello.
So I got a Super Bowl first touchdown possibility.
Okay.
Kyle, yeah, the 49ers, the Kyle Juszczyk guy or whatever his name is, he's number 44. He used to play on Baltimore when they actually in the Blackout Bowl. He actually got a touchdown, and that was his first touchdown, and it was his first touchdown by a Harvard player. And his wife made a bag for Taylor Swift, that jacket that she has. Made it for Kelsey's. Oh, yeah, for Taylor Swift. And then she also made them for Patrick Mahomes. And now the NFL signed her today to do, like, jackets with her. And I think that'd be the ultimate, like, up to you to all the fans. Everyone's betting all the star players for first touchdown. And, you know, fullback got the first touchdown. And when he got that touchdown in that game, the date was it was a Super Bowl 54 or whatever. It was 220. 220. I know 2020. So that's, you know, like 2 plus 2 is 4. You know.
That's where I was on February 3rd. February 3rd, 2013. 34th day of the year. 34 points.
Yep.
34-minute blackout. That's a thought. Here, I'll give you another thought if you want to think twice about it. Super Bowl 24. Joe Montana won back-to-back in Super Bowl 23 and 24. He wore 19 with the Chiefs. It's been 19 years since anybody won back-to-back. Mahomes could do it. But Super Bowl 24, this is 2024, and Missouri's the 24th state. The 49ers wasted the Broncos 55-10. And the 55th pick of the draft this year was Rashee Rice, who plays for the Chiefs, reminding of Jerry Rice. And you want to guess who scored the first touchdown when the Niners scored 55 points?
Yeah. But that's what I was saying, like that. Jerry Rice scored the first one, but this Rice could score the last one. Because if they had this, you know, this fullback get the first touchdown, it would kill everyone's parlays. You know how many people are going to be putting, you know, the first touchdown in parlays, and they would break out so much money the first touchdown. If you scored, you know, no one's going to be betting on that fullback. I'm just thinking about the NFL trying to fuck people.
I'm just thinking about rituals and numbers. Just like I'm sure a lot of people had Odell Beckham to score the first touchdown in Super Bowl 56, including us, because he's born on the day, leaving 56 days left in the year, and he did. But
Yeah. But yeah, so from this guy's birthday, or from the Super Bowl to his birthday is 42 days also, and then 72 days, which is, you know, and then it's 10 weeks, 2 days, and then it's also and also his wife. If you look at his wife, the news feeds have 2 different birthdays. They have February 12th, and then they have November 2nd. So they have 2 different birthdays for her, and her Gematria and the Gematria have some and then fullback too. If you do the Gematria and all them. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff. But yeah, they have her. She's in the news right now with the NFL, and then 2 different birthdays for her.
okay.
Kind of weird. Yeah, and then so that would be like 1/12, like on November 2nd, and then 2/12, you know. And then he in 2011 and 2012 he won the Harvard something like All Ivy Award or something like that in 2011 and 2012, which would be, you know, 2 on 1 and just the same exact days that they have her birthdays mixed up in. So there's just a lot of crazy stuff with him. And he went to Harvard too.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a thought.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yeah, but what they do in the NFL is they make history repeat itself and pay tribute to the same types of things. And Rashee Rice is wearing number 4, and it's going to be Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl. So we'll see. By the way, the big headline tonight, more fear-mongering. FBI director issues dramatic public warning that China is going to hack the hell out of us. And, of course, it's the Jesuits and Klaus Schwab who've been simulating this great cyber attack to come. Of course, Obama just put out the movie about how the cyber attack's going to take down the grid. Janet Napolitano warned about it in 2013 as she stepped down from the Department of Homeland Security. And kind of reminds you of the Event 201 COVID simulation, how they only had 2 CDCs of the world participate, the Chinese CDC and the US CDC, go figure, where the first cases of COVID were in China, and then the US in Bill Gates' backyard. Mr. William Henry Gates, which also equals 201. Going with that caller saying that the new Microsoft place is right across from the address 201. Of course it is. I'll have to look into why they're doing this today. January 31st. Is cyber... Well, hold on. I can't think of something right away. I know blackout's 131 because they've been saying that the cyber attack could take down the grid. Today is 131, right? So blackout's 131. I got to think about this some more. 443?
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
So from a money perspective, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer if you to have San Francisco in the Super Bowl versus Detroit. This is the first Super Bowl ever in Vegas. Where is if you're the marketing director for the NFL?
You know Detroit's been eliminated, right? Hold on. You know Detroit's been eliminated? Hold on. Detroit's been eliminated, right?
No, I know. But in that game, it was easy to pick San Fran for me, just from the money part of it. I'm able to draw more fans coming into my city for the first Super Bowl ever from California than I'm ever going to get out of Detroit.
For sure.
And the whole thing with the Chiefs is a ritual. I actually wanted to tell you about something that I don't know if I told you this from this year, this Thanksgiving, the weekend of Thanksgiving, about a limo driver that I know that picked up Obama at Camp David, private limo.
Okay.
Not many people know that. And a private limo driver works for a private limousine company near where I live. Got a phone call, and this guy's retired. He's 60-some years old. He's been in the limousine business all his life. He's from England. He used to drive the royal family and other dignitaries around the country in England, and he actually drove the FBI director a couple of weeks before he ended up with Obama. It was the FBI director that called him and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing a pickup in Camp David, which isn't far from where I live?" He didn't know who he was going to pick up. He got there. 2 guys in suits got in the back, and he's driving like an Escalade or something. Obama gets in the front. They went to Philly. And in the area of Philly they went to was near where there's a museum that's a jail, that's a famous prison. It's like a 100-year-old jail or something. It's closed now, but it's a prison. And it's a shitty part of Philadelphia with the exception of 4 or 5 big, ginormous homes with lots of acreage. And he went to one of those homes. So and at the time, Biden was in Nantucket for Thanksgiving. What do people think about Obama being at Camp David while Biden is at camp on vacation?
Yeah, I get your drift. So
What's that?
I get your drift.
makes you kind of go,
Yeah, and it could be Michelle. It could be Michelle before long. So
yeah. I'm surprised I'm not looking for dots while I'm telling you this. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
all right, appreciate it.
See you.
All right, later. Yeah, and the head of the FBI did go to Yale, the university that's 322 years old right now. And notice, he's got the same birthday as the Pope, Saturnalia, December 17th. But from today to December 17th is a span of 322 days. Yale Skull and Bones, Order 322. Skull and Bones. Always creating stories. Boogeyman enemies. Blaming men on caves for towers coming down. It's just... And you know, with regards to the day being 131, and again, just all the warning about how a cyber attack could take out the grid, you know, power outage known as a blackout, 131. At the beginning of the month, Tucker Carlson on January 13th, another date can be written 13/1 like 131, did the video about how the grid is going to go down. So I really do just wish they'd get on with the show at this point. It's like, okay, you know, one day they're going to do it. Just get on with it. But they have to wait until everything's just right by the numbers. So. He replaced Comey back when it was Comey versus the Comb-Over. Why would a wait, cyber attack coming from the solar eclipse? Are you saying like the solar eclipse could be the ritual, the black that when the sun's blacked out? Could be around that time. Again, that's on April 8th, 4/8. You just had that guy the other day. Hold on. This ritual the other day, 114 days after. It's not going to pull it up, huh? Why is it not pulling it up? The guy's name is escaping me right now. I just covered this the other day. Hold on, let me scroll through my Twitter page. This guy the other day came out and said that with the 3 troops, we could be on the verge of World War III. And this guy, the guy's name's escaping me right now, but he's been in the media nonstop since 9/11. He's been like the nation's terrorism expert. Here he is, right here. Peter Bergen, that's who I'm thinking of. So he makes this remark about World War III 114 days after the war began and 48 days after his own birthday. World Wars 114 and 48. Oops, I didn't pick up the phone fast enough. But that eclipse that's coming up is on April 8th. So we'll see. We'll see that, you know, that what they did last time on the Great American Solar Eclipse in 2017, well, they took out Chris Cornell, who had Black Hole Sun, but then they did the first audit of Fort Knox in forever on the day of the eclipse, when in alchemy, the sun is gold, and the day you couldn't see the sun was the day they said the gold was all there. So it seemed like more mockery. And again, they had Steve Mnuchin do it, who's a member of Skull and Bones. What's up, 905?
I'm Dr. Carolyn calling from Communist Canada. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I was wondering if you could do a decode on Justin Trudeau for us Canadians.
Sure. You remember when you guys like stampeded the truckers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big 56 ritual, 56 days from his birthday. We had it circled before it happened. And yeah, again, Trudeau's just another Jesuit. And of course, his father was once upon a time the prime minister up there. I can go back and look through older posts. They've done some rituals with Trudeau and Trump together, 2 Jesuits. So yeah, he's another puppet on the strings. Was there something specific you wanted me to look at with Trudeau?
Yeah, just something more recent.
Sure. Yeah, I honestly probably haven't even taken a look at him since the whole trucker thing, but I guess he just hasn't been making any headlines down here lately.
I know all about the truckers. I'm a hardcore protester up here, but if anything comes to mind, I hope you don't mind just keeping an eye on it.
It looks like it's still in the headlines. I searched Trudeau, and this is the headline that comes up. This is the latest headline that came up when I searched. Canada's elite colluded against the Freedom Convoy truckers, just as America's elite have colluded against us. So.
Okay.
But yeah, is there something that happened recently you want me to look into?
Not really. I just feel as though something is coming up around the corner. So that's why I was just saying, if you can keep an eye on Canada, us Canadians up here, that would be great. And I really do appreciate all the work that you do. I do, I follow the American news and I follow you, but it seems like we're left in the dark up in Canada. So I'm just saying, if something does come up here, if you could just make a comment, that would be great.
Sure. I mean, historically, if there's anything big in Canada that happens that makes our headlines, I do cover it. I remember one of the last big things that happened in Canada was April 19th, 2020, when you supposedly had the guy dressed up as the Mountie driving up and down Route 102 shooting people, and then that got gun rights taken away. And of course, that was on the anniversary of Ignatius Loyola becoming the first superior general of the Jesuits. So they do the same Jesuit rituals to take away your rights and liberties in your country as they do elsewhere in the world. But yeah, if you think about anything you want me to look at, just let me know.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Zach.
All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye.
And again, yeah, it's just a reminder. It's just Jesuits all over the place. Start to look. It's just a Jesuit here, a Jesuit there. So. Three, two, one.
How's it going, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, you gave me. No, I just wanted to say, man, I've been following you since 2020, just about a little bit before Kobe. Just want to say, man, your work is magnificent. And to follow up with the numbers and know how real it is, the Jesuits do have institutions in over 56 countries.
112. They claim 112 countries, just like Catholicism's 112. The 112th Australian Open was just won by Sinner 201 days from his birthday. So.
Right. You know, it's interesting to know that a lot of people are dumbed down right now with the ignorance going on in the world. But keep your work going, man. I'm following you religiously, man. And I don't really talk too much about it because not everybody wants to be enlightened by the work. But I just gotta say, man, you're awesome, dude, and you keep it up, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No doubt, Zach.
All right, take care, man. About the 56, though, I forgot the FBI does have 56 field offices, and today does have 56 date numerology. Go with the FBI head making his big, scary gloom and doom prediction today. 347.
What's up, man? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'll make this quick. What's up with that Kansas City story with the 3 frozen Kansas City fans? You see that they still keeping that in the news. I guess still the Super Bowl. What happened to them?
How many Super Bowls has Mahomes won?
2. He's about to go for 3.
There you go.
It's just so weird. This is a guy that the house was saying, well, he was an HIV scientist or something like that. That's what they said, right?
Well, now they're coming out. A girlfriend of one of them said they were murdered, which sounds about right.
Yeah.
So
what you think is the sick riddle in that? Just the home getting the third championship and 3 frozen dead on the back porch.
Here, let me just out of curiosity, what's the Gematria Frozen? Frozen 24. Missouri, the 24th state. The Chiefs going for the 24th playoff win. Mahomes going for his 89th win, the 24th prime. Montana went back-to-back in 89. In Super Bowl 24.
What about the guy being an HIV scientist? What's that about?
What's what about?
The guy at the house that they found him at, the thing was an HIV scientist. And I just saw before I called you.
I didn't know that. I didn't have that detail. HIV scientists, 3 frozen fans, Kansas City. I didn't know about the HIV part. Huh. I'm sure there is something to that. I'm gonna have to think about that part. HIV's got the 42 connection, like the 42nd day of the year. It does have the 15 connection, like Mahomes wears 15 going for his 15th playoff win. So.
It's just a crazy story, like the 14 goal, right?
Yeah, I'll look more into it. I didn't realize the part about the HIV scientist. That's something.
Okay, and one more thing. Good call on Portland winning their game last night, and the Pacers.
You mean the other day against the 76ers, sitting on 33 losses before? Yeah, that was a couple days ago.
So I mean, Milwaukee probably just bust their ass tonight, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Zach. So I'll leave you. I just wanted to hit you with the Kansas City 3 Frozen fans to see what's up with that.
Yeah, I'll look into it more. The HIV thing is interesting. So, all right, appreciate it.
All right, Zach.
All right, let him in. Okay. Six two eight. 628.
Yeah. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been watching you for about 4 months. This is King Lemuel. I've been in the chat.
Okay.
King Lemuel. Yeah, I've been in the chat. First, we're gonna do this together. Look up music in Gematria, and then after you do that, ask it to give you all the bad things that go with music in ChatGPT or in Google.
Wait, look up music and ask the bad things to go with music in ChatGPT?
I can barely hear you. Okay, now what you saying that?
You told me to look up music and all the bad things that go with music.
In Gematria.
You mean just like the matches with the word music?
Yeah. You know, just put music in on the Gematria calculator.
Uh-huh.
Okay. See the number or whatever, and then ask ChatGPT what's the Gematria of what bad things of music, and Google or ChatGPT. It won't do it for me, but you lagging like, ooh, you probably about 2.
I don't even have a login for ChatGPT, so I'm not going to be able to do this right now. But if you just want to get to what you found, I'm listening.
No, I ain't did it yet. This just came up while I'm just, been watching. This just came up through my mind be racing. Oh, I had about, I'm like, let's see.
I'm gonna have to set up a profile. I don't have a profile for ChatGPT.
Okay, that's all. You ain't gotta do ChatGPT. You can do Google.
Okay, but I'm not following what I'm supposed to do. You asked me to match the gematria, and then
No, put music in Gematria and see what number it is. See what it resonate with what the number is. This and the calculator.
I'll just tell you something that I've always noticed about the word music and the number 7 is just they have a lot of overlap, and of course there's like 7 true notes. So, I mean,
well, I gotta do some digging in it.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, man, you're doing a good job, man. This work here, man. I'm first of all, it's other people out here. We call them melanated people. I'm talking for the melanated people.
You got to mute your video. I hear your video playing in the background, but because it's on delay. But okay, the point you're going to make is
it's melanated people out here too. They don't identify with African American. They don't identify with black, but they call us black for what they see of us. And let's see the best thing. And we don't come like black people. We don't come like African Americans. And black is an adjective. It doesn't describe anything or anybody. Black do. Okay. And you're doing a good job, man. I just want to celebrate you for a minute. You've been fighting and fighting and fighting. I had your channel about 2 years, no, it was 2020. And then you just blanked out. I ain't see you no more. But some of the other things were coming too, though. You know, all the information coming out there in 2020. You hear me?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, all the information coming out 2020. I never did realize they knocked you off of YouTube. But I'm just finding you again about 5 months ago.
Well, I'm glad you refound us.
Man, the revelations have been astonishing. Astonishing. All playing. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And the numbers, the words that we be using, be cursing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding that out. You know, it's the best time of my life, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't have no friends. I cut everybody off. I'm in my own apartment. Super clean. The only thing I do is walk around and pick up in off the club. You know, and you doing a good job, man. You know, I like how you do both sides, balance it out. And, you know, we have more stupid and ignorant people in this world than us.
That's for sure.
I'm the 3%. I'm the 3%. Yeah. We shine so bright. We ain't gotta say nothing. We walk in the room and all eyes on us. I'm an empath too. You know.
Sure.
Now a person cannot just walk up on me and say nothing to me, because they like, when they see me, I'm like a deer in the headlight. How I'm supposed to get a deer in the headlight look. You know, like a deer in the headlight.
Right.
I get that all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm like that all the time. But see, what I'm saying is, though, represent me, man. I'm melanated. Represent me. I got love for you, bro.
Well, how do you mean that? How do you want me to represent you? How do you mean that, though? How am I supposed to represent you?
When you said black, white, whatever it is, I'm in there too. My name is melanated.
Well, okay, I hear that, because nobody's truly white, nobody's truly black, and I do speak on that. People don't like to be called African American. They don't like to be called white. They don't like to be called black. But that's why I often say darker complected, because the truth is everybody's melanated, right? Everybody's melanated. It's just some people are a lot more melanated than others.
Well, I'm the one a lot more than others.
Right.
I just want to be represented when you use those terms and things like that. I ain't even in the group, man.
Sure.
I ain't even counting.
But the point also that I make, though, about the terminology of black is they use the terminology of black, and they do use the number sequence behind black for their rituals.
Exactly. And then with all of it that comes with it, the civil rights, and you looked up all that, I was like, oh my God. I said, oh, okay, that's how you do it. That's the secret right there. And then all the words that go with that word, it describes that word. That's how powerful it is.
Yes. Spells, spelling, like you said in the beginning, curses, cursive, spell, spelling, it's all in the language.
Yeah. And it's just mind blowing, man. I catch all of your videos. You know, I'm just in there, and I got all of your channels. I believe you got 3 channels. I was looking at that. I said, damn, 3. but you got all them playing in one, right?
Yeah, I try to broadcast as many places as I can, since I'm not getting enough reach. So yes.
Yeah. You out there, because you came up on my feed, and I wasn't looking for you, but you out there, you getting out there, but they suppress you. Like you can look up different things in the dictionary, Wikipedia, and all that. You know, some things gonna come straight to the top. You know, they're gonna come straight to the top. But when you find them words that people don't too much use in the side, and what they using now for the masses, you gotta dig for this. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
They don't have a surface level. They don't have a real information surface level. You got to dig. You got to look at the etymology of it. Now and then. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. And it just, this is the best time of my life. I turned 51 this year. They said I'm going to make it C25. So that means I live 4 lifetimes, right? What did I live? 220? No, I said 21. They said 20, really? So how many lifetimes that is? Is that 2.5?
I suppose.
Yeah. I'm just saying I'm out here, man. And I appreciate your work, man.
Well, I appreciate your support and that you found the channel again in your call today. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I did a month with that $5 challenge thing. I'm gonna do it again.
Appreciate that.
And I appreciate the information. You work more on funky ass $5 a month. You truly are, man. You truly are. You know that.
Well, thank you very much.
And I appreciate the caring that you do just for people in general. People that have good sense. And we out here, man. We out here.
I know that. That's why I do it. I do it for the people who are out here. I wish there was more of you, but I know there are a lot of us. We're just all separated.
Like I said, I'm the 3%.
Indeed.
I'm the 3%.
Yeah.
I see through people. I understand. I truly understand. I truly understand. And the people that I don't have to talk to them to know who they are. I can just look at them. I don't like to make eye contact, really. I really don't. But there's a lot of things I want to say. Well, yeah, I'm going to go to my nephew. Okay, my nephew is a mathematician. He makes over A+ in school. He about 5 years old. And I want to give him that information, man. You think that's a good thing?
Well, I think it's better for younger people to know the world they're growing up in. So yeah, you introduce it to them the right way. I think it probably is the right thing. I mean, my parents didn't hide anything from me. I think that's one of my advantages to growing up. My parents exposed me to everything from a young age. So
yeah, and it was just a steady march. No focusing on yourself. No seeing how you feel and nothing like that. You got to think about somebody else. So anyway, again, but I'm gonna give them this information, man. And I heard one thing you said about it. I always hang on to every word you said. You said you heard a man telling you that that Gematria would bring you bad luck or some old bullshit like that.
sure, a lot of people have said a lot of different things.
He talked about it like he was an elder or something like that, like he was a priest or something like that. He said something negative about having you learning geometry, some type of ill will to come to you. I remember you saying something about that.
I forget as much as I remember, so I'm sure it happened in the past.
Yeah. It's just mind blowing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's mind blowing. I be intrigued, you know what I'm saying? When I do that, call it anything to jump out of you know what I'm saying? And you got shit to bag it up though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I try to come with the evidence. So yeah.
Yeah, you come with the motherfucker evidence. And it's right there. But I learned this here too, though. I learned this here too. You can't break up these folks' dreams. They're still in the dream state. You can't snatch them back in reality when you say something true. You know how you get that deer in the headlight look when you say something about it, like you ain't even there, it's just shot. And I be saying, damn, they don't think about that.
I guess that's why we're the 3%. Yeah, I think we all know about that deer in the headlights look. I've gotten it many times in my life. Friend, I appreciate it. I got to let a few more people in because I got about an hour show left. So thank you very much. I appreciate your support.
Thank you too, brother. Thank you too, man. Gratitude to you, brother. Gratitude and thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you, friend.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Zach? This is Daryl Jones calling from Detroit.
Thanks for calling.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you want to mute that video though in the background.
Oh, no, yeah, I just muted it. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can. Yeah, I do.
First of all, Zach, I won't be long. I didn't get a chance to meet you when you came down here to Detroit. That time it was last summer. But all I want to say is you are the one that started this about exposing sports. And I remember I was telling my friends about back then when I was younger, saying wrestling was scripted. It's all script. They didn't believe me. So I said, well, okay, fine. But I was telling people, I've been doing this on guys on Facebook for years. I said, they removed this guy, like thousands of this man's videos, because he was predicting the outcome of games and series before anybody knew. One point was when you said, when North Carolina went against Oregon, I watched that game against Michigan, and you showed a video, and you said, yeah, you see right there, you see Roy Williams walking with the Ducks. And I'll never forget it. That's been a long time ago, too. So that's how much I've been following you.
Yeah. Lots of good memories. And that's why I get mad sometimes I delete this stuff, because I'd like to go back and look at it. I mean, I've forgotten a lot of things, but.
Oh man, you have exposed. Now all I keep hearing people say, "Oh, it's rigged. Oh, it's a script," and I'll be laughing like, y'all be giving all this credit to other people. Y'all need to be going to give credit to Zachary K. Hubbard. He exposed it before anybody else was doing it. So that's all I called to say, man. I appreciate it. I saw the scripted games this past Sunday, and everybody's just talking about how much of a script it is and everything. So you deserve all the credit, man, because you're the one who brought this stuff out years ago.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And hopefully you come back to Detroit, I can see you, man. If you ever come back to be here.
There'll be a time where I get back on the road. I just got to win Sweet Lady over. So.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what really happened to the financial support. I don't think it's that people dropped off. I think it's just like a bunch of people have been telling me for the last 2 years. It's just that they got kicked off, and plenty of people told me it doesn't let them sign back up anymore. But one way or another, we'll get it back on track. What's up, 505?
Hey, Jack. I got an observation with the HIV story with the Chiefs.
Okay.
So I've been telling everybody the whole year last year that HIV would be on the rise this coming year because Luke Monte something, one of the co-founders of HIV, he died at 80. He died at 89 years old. So I was thinking, if you're 24, HIV on the rise. We've had stories about them spraying HIV in the chemtrails. So, Mahomes with the 89, the HIV guy at the 89. So just to piggyback off the HIV story.
Okay, the death of the 89-year-old wasn't too far in the past, was it?
No, I think he died. I'm driving. So
It was February 10th, 2022. That's why there was something. I was like, what was it recently about HIV in 89? You're right. The man, the co-discoverer of HIV, died recently at 89. Yeah, and Mahomes is going for his 89th win.
And then the story about the 3 guys dying in HIV. I didn't know about that story either. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll look more into this. They're definitely doing something. And again, just HIV, they're saying how it's predominantly impacted, people who are darker complected, and it's got the 42 connection. And so.
This is just like Woodstock, free love. Everybody's banging everybody else,
Sure.
The transgender movement, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, Tachi in the chat points out that virus equals 89, which is true. And when the Chiefs and Niners were first in the Super Bowl, it was at the time COVID was just starting. So, and yeah, a lot of parallels with
the story.
Yeah, we'll look into it more. There's something going on here for sure. So, appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, Jack.
All right, take care. Yeah, thanks. By the way, the person out there who kept getting in the back room under, I think your name was Car. I was just about to go to you if you want to come back in. So Car, if you're out there, you want to jump back in, feel free to. And didn't mean to keep you waiting, but the one caller was pretty long-winded. And Probably should have went to you before the last call, but you're welcome to come back. I wasn't ignoring you. You're trying to call in? Well, the line's open right now. Should be able to get through right now. Nobody's calling. Oh, you're gonna expose my picks? Okay. That's why you're trolling too, huh? Because you're not really trying to call in, because you're not really gonna expose anything. 720?
Hey, Zach, what's going on?
Yeah, what's up?
Seems like you started earlier today, brother. I just caught you right now, so I have no idea what your subject or what you're talking about, but yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while. So I want to see how you're doing and your family, and in a nutshell, how's everything been going?
Everything's just about the same over here, so.
All right. Well, here in Colorado, I mean, man, we have all the illegals up in hotels. They're coming up and down the streets. And it's definitely manifesting right before our eyes. So, yeah, the floodgates are open from Texas up here. And, yeah, it's definitely the real deal.
Okay.
And it's funny, if you look at, we had an eclipse, I think it was in October, and it went over Texas and made an X. And also the other eclipse coming on the 8th, which is going over Eagle Pass. It is seeing they're talking about this X, so Twitter to X and all this X stuff going on. So they're definitely opening these dark portals coming from above below. And like I said, these subplot people, that's exactly what they work. They work, you call it an organic side, but it's really a Hasatan, dark side. But yeah, it's definitely manifest. And I know you're doing great work, Zach, but it definitely seems like this empire, I mean, the ship is going down, brother. Like everything you're exposing is great, but there's no physical retaliation, which is $1 million question. Who's going to do that? And like I said, you're exposing all this stuff, but it's just all in our face. So like, okay, what are you going to do about it? No kickback. Okay, we're going to do the next thing. Okay, no kickback. Okay, we're going to do the next thing. And the reality is that people are so caught up in this matrix or fantasy land of subplot deception. It's like, brother, they don't even know what's real or what's in front of them anymore. It's really sad.
Yeah, I hear it.
And, that's why we're walking the tour, action on every principle, great 7 on earth and blessing. But I got to give it to the subplot. They do the same thing when they take action on dark portables and, and all the monstrous part of it. It brings manifestation. But it's for darkness, for evil, and it's just sad. And I don't know, it's going to be very interesting, like with this next season we're going into, and of course April. But it's funny when they see it right in your own backyard, when manifestation, all these illegals are coming, and the floodgates are really open. It's just like, man, your territory and one of the core is the borders and boundaries, and that was the next curse that came on the U.S. And brother, it's just coming in like a floodgate. And I think I told you many times, the only thing that keeps happening is more migration ships all over this earth. So when three major wars are breaking out of the Middle East, I guess because this empire is going down, everyone's trying to come into it. At a certain point in a certain season, it's called the Aliyah, I will go back over to the Middle East where a new kingdom, a new power is going to transfer. And it's going to go season by season, of course. No one knows exactly how it plays out. But I mean, that's kind of the end game. What part of Earth do you want to be on? And Zach, I would say I would not plant your flag, here in the U.S. at a certain point, because you're exposing many things. But when the spirit of hunts come, it is the book of Jeremiah. You don't want to be caught, weeping gnashing teeth in outer darkness. So yeah, they call it a getaway plan, and Hebrews call it an exile plan. So.
Yeah.
But that's all I have to say, brother. But it's good to see you. Keep doing what you do. But just keep in mind, most people know I have an exit strategy or an exile, what nation you really want to go to. And I think, you're doing great. Maybe it's when it's time to wrap up shop what you're doing, maybe consider where you want to go next. Or do you want to go down in this ship? And, it's going down hard.
Yeah, I hear it. All right, friend. Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
All right, take care. All right. He always starts the same way. He's like, I don't know what we're talking about tonight, but I'm going to go back into the same things I always say. Let's go out to Evan. What's up, Evan?
Hey, man, that Panamanian soccer player that
Evan.
What? Am I on? Can you hear me?
Evan.
Wait,
Evan, is your mic on?
Hold on. Oh, can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
your mic is on, but we can't hear you.
Hold on.
Try again, Evan. Oh, I heard you that time.
Wait.
Now I hear you. Now I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that's that Panamanian soccer player that died the other day.
The Matador.
Yeah, he's so in the 2011 Gold Cup, which is an international tournament that's held in the U.S. like every other summer. He scored a goal in Kansas City, and that was on June 14th, 2011, which was a span of 11 weeks and 2 days after his 29th birthday. Chiefs and Super Bowl both equal 112, and the AFC can get their 29th Super Bowl win if the Chiefs win in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Again, probably missed this. The Matador. Matador's a taunt the bull with the red blanket. Got another all red Super Bowl. And red has that Gematria 54. Like the first ever one was Super Bowl 54, the Joe Montana Bowl. Joe Montana is also 54. This is Super Bowl 58, which is the 54th of the modern era. This man died the day the Super Bowl was set at age 41. And of course, Super Bowl equals 41. And he died the day that Mahomes picked up his 41st road win to advance to the Super Bowl. And now you've picked up on where it fits in with Kansas City as well. So go figure.
Right, and that speaking of 41, that the date that he scored that goal was also 41 days before, or sorry, not 41 days, 41 weeks before his next birthday.
Yeah, it's sad. Same stuff year after year.
And then also we have I guess you'd call it, I don't know if you'd call it predictive programming or whatever. There's a thing called Preparing for Disease X that came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I remember you said something about like there was something passed on June 13th of last year in relation to Disease X, which is the day leaving 201 days left in the year.
Yeah, the Congress had some little conference about Disease X on, exactly, in a 201 ritual.
Right. I noticed that the top prospect who's likely to be drafted number 1 in the NHL in this upcoming draft was born on June 13th. So I'm sure there's something with him, and with the last, also because we have the last time we had this matchup in the Super Bowl, we had COVID, and I don't know, it seems like there maybe won't be COVID, but it seems like there's going to be another pandemic within the next, I'd say definitely within the next year, maybe not immediately following the Super Bowl, but I'd say within 12 months of the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's,
I hope we don't, but it just seems like they've put a lot out there. The same
again,
kind
they
of
got
stuff
the
they put out
SPARS 2025 simulation, so we'll see.
And also, last thing in regards to the title of the live stream, I did notice back when Lillard played his first game with the Bucks, he scored 37 points.
Of course he did.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks, Zach.
All right, Evan, appreciate it. All right, Car got back in the room.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks, Zach.
Car, appreciate it. All right, Car got back in the room.
All right, that's all I got. Thanks, Zach.
Car.
Hey, Zach.
How you doing? You're gonna want to mute the video in the background.
Yeah, well, well, everything okay so far. Keep the video okay.
There we go.
Keep the video. Move from stage and stuff. Is that okay? Hey. Right, just a quick one, Zach. Out to Tommy Saldoni, Stuff to make right. How do I get Derek's calculator on the app? Because I've got the basic one only, so.
It's hard to make out, friend, because the video's playing in the background. So the sound's overlapping.
Video. Not the cam open, yeah?
It's hard to make out because the video you got the YouTube video and I can tell that you got the YouTube video playing somewhere and you're in the room, so we got both going. You can close the YouTube video because you'll hear everything just being in here. He muted his mic.
That's better, huh?
Yeah, there we go. Now you're good.
All right. Hey, I just
Perfect.
switch the volume off the screen on the wall. So. Okay, the Gematria calculator directs how do I receive that app on my devices?
It's for smartphones. So if you got an Android phone or an iPhone, you can just download it from the app place. It's free to download.
On the app.
Here, easy way to do it. Just go to my website, GematriaEffectNews, and then go to the calculator tab, and then just scroll down, and then you can just download. If you just click on that, it'll take you right where you need to be on your phone. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Have you heard anything about the European Championships this season with Germany?
I started to look at it a little bit. But let me look again. There was something that jumped out because you had the recent death of that German great, and it's in Germany. Let's see.
Franz Beckenbauer.
Yes.
66. Yes, it's called Strina with an N, not a T. I get kind of.
Oh, I know what stood out to me about it when I looked at it. It ends on Bastille Day, the special day for France. So I was just thinking, well, they've done a lot of stuff with France in the time of Pope Francis, and now we got this thing ending on Bastille Day. So I got to do more research on it, but that's definitely jumping out to me.
Well, I've looked on my name about my calculator numbers, and it's 104 and 41 in reverse, or other way around, I think. Yes, 3 numbers and 2 numbers, 41 and 104. What do you think of those 2 numbers?
Yeah, they very well could be relevant, especially with what's going on over here with the Super Bowl. Bastille Day falls on the Pope's 211th day of his age, which of course is the 47th prime in France, does equal 47. So that's to me, that's the early clue. Bastille Day conclusion.
The final, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a good tip for you because it happened in Sweden, Gothenburg, the final 1992. The 2 teams played each other, and one of them was Germany, and they lost to Denmark 1-0. Jesper Poulsen scored the winning goal, and I'm backing Denmark at 20-1 each way, first 2 to reach the final anyway. So
Very good.
that's a tip for me. I'm not doing so bad with the horses, but I completely. The Super Bowl, I did have the Chiefs and the Lions. But I didn't. I just had the one gamble, but I kind of think with the 2 teams now, I think the 49ers might play in white.
Yeah, that's the announcement that they're playing in white. And somebody pointed out today that it's National White T-Shirt Day, which is interesting.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, yeah, with a thing with me, wow, being like that, you know, that's where the living room is at.
Sure.
So that's the map of the world in the middle. Be proud of who you are. Yes. the nervous system, and that's all about yoga and the
chakras.
The chakras, yes, indeed. All different colors, from the crown to the base, the root chakra, which is the red color.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. So I've got me Gematria somewhere. Somewhere. I'll give you a little show around my room there, because there's a 1994 calendar of the Buffalo Bills.
Funny.
January. And the next one, believe it or not, well, you will believe it, because what we say with they speak truth, The next one is the Los Angeles Raiders.
The Raiders, okay.
February. And guess, yeah, next month is obviously Las Vegas Raiders ground.
Right. For people
And
who
it's
were paying
on.
attention this week with the NFL games, Patrick Mahomes started the game 11 for 11, and they put up on the screen, it's the first time anybody's done that since Rich Gannon of the Raiders in 2002. And I was just like, come on. I mean, they're telling you where he's going. So, anyway.
Well, I have got a few, a few items with Gematria. I give them away, your mugs and t-shirts and hats. And, I bought 19 items of 1 week, one time, and I kept a few coffee mugs for myself of different types and sizes, So, well, just basically, it was just about I wasn't sure whether I tried his YouTube channel, Derek's YouTube channel, to get the calculator there. But since you've mentioned how I could get the calculator, is great. I'll get that done now after I've finished this stream. So I'll say good night and have a great stream. The
I
rest of
appreciate it,
the night.
Carl. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Pleasure.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
All right. Let's go out to open up. How you doing, man?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah. So on the topic of gematria and explaining it, I just wanted to come in and kind of share how I found the knowledge. I don't remember when it was, but it was through Spiritual Soul when he said, "Oh, you people need to look into gematria," and that's when I found your stuff. But before that, I was always into conspiracies and thinking things couldn't just be happening just because. So I probably started looking into it when I was in, I would say, like 6th grade. And I was raised Lutheran as well, a Christian. And I always went to church, and I always knew that there was like a satanic or demonic side to things in this world. So I would always I was big into rap music and music videos back in the early 2000s. So I would watch music videos, and they would always have like subliminal messages and subliminal images. So I started going into YouTube, and one of the first channels I found, his name was the Forerunner 77 or something like that. And he would just go over like rap music videos, and he would like decode them and show like the images that they put in and the things that they said. And that always interested me because he'd always show like, a lot of times in music videos they flash images really quickly and they go through things, and like if you're just watching it, you don't pick it up, but the subliminal mind does pick it up, so it gets kind of stored in the back of your mind. But what he would do, he would like pause it, he would like decode and things like that. So that's what got me started into conspiracy. But I've been deep into it since I was probably like age 12 or 13. And after a while, things got kind of like repetitive because, they don't really go into anything else. They just say, oh, Illuminati, oh, Freemasons. So it was interesting at first, but after a while, I just stopped looking into it because it was the same stuff. But how I've been watching Spiritual Soul is like I used to watch him like doing like 2K videos, video game stuff, and then he had this other spiritual channel that would go over like kind of more spiritual things. And then it was the Kevin Samuels death where he explained about Gematria, and I was like, wow, what is Gematria? And I just typed it in like Google. I mean, I typed it into YouTube, and I think your video, I don't remember which one it was, but one of your videos came up, and I started watching it, and I was like, it didn't even take me like 5 minutes into the video. I was like, wow, everything that I've been like, thinking about in my mind, this just confirms everything even more. So for me, it was like flip of a switch. Like this is what's like the missing piece of what is going on in our world. So whenever like I look at this stuff and I show it to people, I'm like, bro, how can you not believe this? Like even my friend group, I think over the weekend while we were watching the games, we have like a group chat where we know how guys are. We like talk shit to each other, we make fun of each other, and like everyone has their team or whatever. So I always put in there like when things happen during the game, I put it in like, oh, this happened. You guys need to wake the fuck up. And like they're just like, oh, shut up, bro. It's not fake, it's not rigged. And then like when things don't come through, he's like they kind of like poke fun at me. They're like, oh, what happened here? Like, why did this go through? And I tell them like, okay, this stuff is undeniable. Like predicting games is not like 100% fact that we could predict at each game, but like when things line up, you can't deny that this is happening. But it's just I don't know. It's some people who like they don't want to let go, and to me, there's a lot of people who like they believe it, like they know it's true, but they don't want to let go of their ego. They don't want to give in. They just continue to go along with it. So I just wanted to come on here and share that. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's exactly it. It's the Mark Twain quote. It's easier to fool people than convince them they've been fooled. And again, it is the ego. The ego doesn't want to admit it. So
yeah. And like I say this a lot to people, like if you receive new information and the information you're getting is like undeniable, then why don't you change your perspective? Like, do you need to be right that badly that you can't accept what's actually true? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
it's that other quote about give me the child and I'll show you the man. I forget who said it, but they said if they can raise the person till age 7, they know pretty much how they'll turn out. And that's what they're doing with the indoctrination centers, or what we call schools. And that's why everyone's kind of like a cookie cutter. Almost everyone has the same stereotypical responses and thoughts and ideas and beliefs.
Yeah.
And you just see what society is. So.
Yeah, and then like it kind of makes sense to me, like why some people can't get out of that mindset, but it also doesn't make sense because looking at myself, like I'm a pretty smart guy. Like I went to college, I got a degree, I'm getting another degree, but like this stuff is like you always say, it's elementary math, like 1 + 1. That's how I always start when I'm explaining it to people. I'm like, okay, the first thing I say is, okay, when we were in elementary school and they gave us the alphabet and they told us like, oh, A is the first letter, B is the second letter, Z all the way to 26. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, using that information, there is a code that is being used that gives every word or every phrase a number value when you add them up. And then I give them like a decode on like Kobe or something or 9/11, and they're listening a little bit, but then like they start like zoning out. They're like, yeah, that's pretty dumb. I mean, it's a coincidence. You can make anything equal that. You could do that with anything. And I think that's how like probably 95 or 99% of people think. But the thing is, you have to just keep being persistent. Like my main friend group there's about 5 of us, and only one of them, he actually looks into things that I give him, because he's more similar to me in that like he's been into conspiracies and things like that. So when I showed him this, he was kind of amazed. But the other 3, like one of my other friends, he's like really religious, he's really Christian, and I live in Orlando, and he's like a big Magic fan. And he's like, every day there's a game, he's like, oh, magic. And I'm like, bro, the Magic suck, this shit is scripted. And I tell him every day, and like every time that I start mentioning anything in the group chat, he just like goes silent. He doesn't say anything. Like the whole chat goes silent. And I mean, it's kind of disappointing, but what can you do, right? You just have to keep drilling them with the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You stay consistent, and over time, some people will change their mind. I mean, occasionally we get the callers who say, "Oh, I used to think your work was stupid, but then I realized it was true, and now I've been here for X amount of time." And then other people will just never admit it because their ego's too big. Like my sister, I don't think she'll ever come around. So
Yeah, there's just some people that you probably never convince. And I mean, I presented this to my family, I think not last Christmas, but the one before, since we're all together. And I just brought up the Kobe video, and we all watched it while we were eating the Christmas dinner or whatever. And everyone just watched it. We all stayed silent. And then at the end, I'm like, what do you guys think about this? And they're like, no, I mean, it's kind of interesting, it's kind of coincidental. And that's pretty much all they said. And then I'm just like, what would you think if I told you like everything you see in the news, it's by the same kind of numbers? And they're like, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of coincidental. That was their only response. So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I I think the thing that keeps people like, kind of pessimistic about it is that it doesn't directly affect them. So when they see it, they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But I mean, if it's something that like changed their life, like if it was the reason that something happened to them, they would be more willing to accept it.
Time or at the same time, I mean, if you use the knowledge, you can use it to affect your life. Like it might have kept you from getting the jab, so might have helped you from getting the clot shot. So
Yeah. Oh, and about that, yeah, like my whole family got it because they're all in the medical field. Like my father's a pharmacist, my mom's a nurse, my sister's a nurse, and then the other two are in medical school. And during that time, like they all got the COVID shot, and I didn't get it. And my dad was like close to like exiling me from the family. He was like so pissed off that I didn't get it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna get it. And after a while, like I got sick, and I probably was, I would say, not the sickest I've ever been, but I was pretty sick for probably 4 or 5 days. And my dad was like pissed, like so pissed at me, because like he's kind of older. He's like in his 60s, 70s. So he was pissed. He's like, he didn't speak to me for like 2 weeks. And I mean, I was only sick for 4 days, and after that, I was just fine. So
yeah,
it's kind of
naturally.
it's kind of disappointing. But yeah, I just left the gym and I just got home now, so I just wanted to call in real quick and just contribute to the show today.
All right, appreciate it as always. Thanks for opening up.
Yeah, take care.
All right, yeah, you too. Better. Yeah. By the way, if you didn't get the clot shot, you could still have consequences from the virus. Um, and again, I totally disagree with all the people that saying there's no such thing as viruses. To me, that's just BS. And I just think that from just living and having experience, like the no such thing as virus is right up there with the flat Earth to me. Because again, pretty much the only time I ever get sick is when Sweet Lady gets sick these days. And back in the day when I used to get sick, it'd be when all my friends and family were sick around me, and I'd always be the last to catch it, but then I would catch it. And again, before COVID was even in the news, we're up here in Washington State. Before COVID was even a thing in the news, well, they're calling it coronavirus. So before coronavirus in the news, and months later they're calling it COVID. But people were getting super sick up here in Washington, like sicker than they'd ever been in their life. And sure enough, Sweet Lady ended up catching it. And then after like 5 days of taking care of her, I ended up catching it, and we were both the sickest we'd ever been. And yeah, the weird thing that happened for me is, so that was back at the end of 2019, 2020. And think about it, we're up here, we're supposedly the first case ended up getting confirmed in Bill Gates' backyard. But so anyway, last year, fast forward to last winter, about a year ago now, I'm outside shoveling snow in tennis shoes, and it was a ton of snow, and I don't have like a good pair of like winter boots. But anyway, I've never had a lot of shoes. I mostly always wear the same shoes all the time. But anyhow, I was shoveling snow for a long time, and then when I came in, my feet they were feeling pretty cold, and I was like, I probably should have better shoes for out here for as long as I was shoveling snow. And then something happened in my right foot. It got like this like red blistery thing on certain toes, and I was like, that's weird. And then sweet lady looked at it. She's like, I think it's athlete's foot. And I was like, I don't know. I never had athlete's foot before. And I don't think I'd get that from freezing toes, like sweaty, nasty socks. So I was trying all these different foot ailments to figure out what was going on with my feet. And it wasn't responding to anything. And I was trying to treat it for weeks. And it was just weird because it wasn't responding to anything. And I've never really had a foot problem before. So sweet lady took a picture and took it to the clinic where she works and showed it to the doctor. And the doctor said, we're starting to get a lot of these recently, and I'd never seen it before. And they're calling it COVID toes. And when I looked online, the ailments for COVID toes described exactly what I had going on. And it says it's triggered from people who've had the COVID virus and their feet are exposed to the cold. So I thought, well, that's like exactly what happened. And once the winter went away last year and it became spring and warmed up, the foot problem went away. I didn't have it anymore. But now that the winter's back this year, I got the same thing going on. And it's not in my left foot. It's only in my right foot. But it makes me, like, at first when I heard this, I thought it was so dumb. I was like, COVID toes? I think I mentioned it a year ago. I was like, COVID toes? But yeah, it seems like it's a real thing. And then it pisses me off because it makes me wonder, like, what else could be dormant in our bodies if we caught this? And, like, what other things it could be doing? And while the COVID toes is totally manageable, I mean, it's ugly to look at, but you can hide it with socks and shoes. And it does have like a burning sensation, but it's not the end of the world. It's like, it's very bearable, but it just bothers me because it's like, I know these people are fucking with us and what they put out in the world. And, you know, I was talking to Big Al about, he's like, man, who knows? It could have sterilized you. I was like, yeah, you never know, man. I mean, who knows what it did? So, but yeah, again, just because you didn't get the clot shot doesn't mean that, like, and that's why I always say, you got to eat as healthy as you possibly can at this time. You got to take care of yourself. You got to get enough sleep. Diet, exercise, sleep, so important. And again, we're living in a world where psychopaths rule over it. Just all the unnecessary toxins they put in the world. And just even things like this. So anyway, we had this gentleman come back. Maybe he wanted to jump back on the show. Did you want to say something else tonight?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you came back in.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk about a few things. First was the brother Ishmael earlier. I got love for him, and I don't even know him because I grew up not judging someone by the color of their skin, but the contents of their character. And are
you still there? Hello? Huh. Right.
Hello?
Are you back? Yeah, you were just starting your statement and then it dropped out.
Oh shit. Yeah, I only got a couple bars, but no, I'm a truck driver and I go to Detroit every day. And so I know a brother earlier, he called in and said something about he lives in Detroit, and if you come out there that, you know, he would meet up with you, and I wanted to second that. You know, if you ever do come up to Michigan, I would like to meet you in person. But a couple, am I still live?
You're good, yeah.
Okay. So a couple things I thought I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't know if you've talked about these before. I just thought it was, I guess, coincidental is the only word I could think of. But so August 5th of 1968, which I believe that was the start of the World Trade Center construction.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so August 5th, 1968 to the Super Bowl that's coming up, February 11th, 24. It's exactly 666 months and 6 days. I don't know if you've touched on that or if you were aware of that. I just wanted to share that with you. I thought that was a coincidence, I guess.
or maybe not. I wasn't aware of that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, and then with Kamala Harris, see, I honestly believe Joe Biden doesn't have a lot.
Uh-oh. He dropped out again. But I was thinking, I think he was going to say, I don't think Joe Biden has that much more time left. Again, we've been expecting him to go sometime around June 1st, 2024, since he set foot in office as president. Are you back, Midwest? He's driving, so he must be in an area where he's going in and out of service. Probably got some hills around him or something, some trees.
Man, unless the feds are fucking with me.
Or that. Yeah, you're back.
Unless the Fed boys are fucking with me anyway. I'm trying to stay still. I'm actually in my house, but I only got 2 bars. So like I was saying, I don't think Joe Biden's got a lot of time left. They're going to usher in Kamala Harris. And I don't know if you're aware of this. I'll just throw it out there. So Kamala Harris, obviously, you're aware, her name equals 49. She's the 49th vice president. And San Francisco 49ers, she's also from California.
I mean, she came up pretty much in the Bay Area. The mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, is 49 years old right now as well. Yeah.
Okay. So from Kamala Harris's birthday, which is October 20th, 1964, to the game that was just played January 28th, which was the Lions and the 49ers.
Uh-huh. His signal's having some trouble right now. We'll stand by to see if his signal comes back. I'll tell you one thing that's interesting about Kamala's birthday to the Super Bowl, because I've been looking into this too. Again, I always try to explore both sides of an equation for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is 114 days after Kamala's birthday with her Bay Area connections, and President of the United States does equal 114.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, 336, sit tight, 336, while he finishes his thought, and then I'll put you right on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I won't be too much longer.
Okay.
But so from her birthday when she was born to the game that just happened, it was 21649. Well, obviously the 49ers, but 6 times 6 times 6 is 216.
I see.
So it's 21,649 days from when she was born to the game that just happened. And now why I think they're going to usher in Joe Biden, or something's going to happen. And I honestly think it's going to be an assassination, because the word assassination in Gematria in the original form is 160. Okay, so from the day Joe Biden got inaugurated, January 20th of 21, if you go 160 weeks, it's February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And that also is 1,120 days, 1120.
His signal drop out again. All right, I'm going to bring 336 on while his signal's dropped out. 336, thanks for your patience.
Yo, Zach, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. This Billy D, man, I had time with you a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Man, this might be off subject, man, but I was just wondering, man. I was seeing if you could pull up the Gematria calculator. I just wanted to see if my dad was like a Freemason or whatever. My dad was a Tuskegee Airman. He was a World War II veteran. And, my dad died before I was born, so I didn't really know too much about him. But he got a lot of history out here on this earth. So
I don't know. I'm just trying to understand the language that you're teaching.
Sure. I don't know if Gematria can reveal what you're trying to find out about your father, but what did you want me to do?
I was just wondering, like, if you could just like put his name in the Gematria calculator and see if it equals up to something, or.
Well, the only way that would really have any meaning is if he was purposefully named something intentionally for a purposeful numerical value, which people do. But if you want me to type in your father's name, I can.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I just want a little knowledge, man.
Sure. How do I spell his name?
My dad's name was Harry Owen Wade.
Harry?
Harry, like, yeah, Harry Owen Wade.
Did I spell it right? Harry Owen Owen Wade Wade.
Yes, sir.
I don't see anything super stand out about his name in terms of Freemasonry. His full name does equal 191, which is the 43rd prime, and Masonics 43, but that could be coincidental. I mean, my last name Hubbard equals 43, and nobody's a Mason in my family, and that's just my dad's adopted father's name. But there are people who do name their children intentionally. And once upon a time when I was driving for Uber and Lyft, I got an older gentleman. I mean, he was old. And he got in the car and he asked me to take him on this scenic route in Seattle because he knew they were tearing down the viaduct and he wanted to go on it before they tore it down. And he was older. He said, I'll probably never be to Seattle again in my life. But he asked me as I was taking him on the drive, he goes, so do you do anything else besides drive Uber and Lyft? I said, well, I'm actually just doing this kind of right now as a little experiment. And I said, I've been working on some research and a book. He's like, oh, what's that about? And then I started telling him about it. He goes, oh, I actually know something about this. My father was a Mason, and my name is Kirby. And my father wanted my name to begin with a K because it's the 11th letter, and that's the master number. And he said, actually, it was a point of contention with my mother because she didn't want my name to be based in numbers. But he was a Mason, and it was important to him. So that was all that his father did about his name, was just named him Kirby, so it began with a K. I mean, it's possible if your father had a Masonic father that he could have, done something with his name, or it could just be that it's just Harry Owen Wade because they like the way it sounded. So.
Right. Just saying, because, I mean, he was 36 years older than my mom, so, it's just weird. I guess it was different back in those times. But I had another thing, too, Zach. When I was in high school, back in like 97 or 98, I was in this program called American with Jim Brown.
Okay.
And when I graduated, Jim Brown came to the graduation. I shook his hand. I still got his autograph to this day. So I don't know if you're familiar with the American program.
I think I've heard of it. I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, it was basically for like, they say it's like, if you was a bad student or whatever, they put you in that class. I didn't think I was a bad student, but I got put in that class.
Sure.
It's kind of unique, so I don't know, man. I actually got a chance to meet Jim Brown. I shook his hand and everything. Got his autograph and everything. I don't know if it's worth anything, if I sold the autograph or whatever, but.
Yeah, well, I think that's an interesting life experience. I don't think it's a bad thing that you were in that program at all. So.
Yes, sir. I mean, exactly, man. I appreciate your work, man. I'm glad you took my call again. And, just trying to, get some more knowledge on this.
Sure. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. You have a good night.
All right, Zach. All right. I'm going to continue watching.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Midwest Perspective. Did you get the signal back?
Yeah. Am I good?
All right. Yeah. You were saying about Kamala. It was like 1,120, and then you cut out again.
Okay. Oh, no, it was Joe Biden the day. So I typed in assassination in the Gematria calculator. It's 160. So I went to the inauguration day of Joe Biden, January 20th of 21. 160 weeks is February 14th of 24. And that's also 1,120 days, which 11/20 is Joe Biden's birthday. Do you see that connection?
Yeah, November 20th, right? Okay. It's an interesting thought.
Am I breaking up?
Valentine's Day, if it happened, it's possible. So
well, and then also with Kamala, well, February 16th, which we go back to that 216. February 16th is the 47th day of the year. She would become the 47th president. So, I mean, I'm not predicting anything. I'm just kind of throwing, ideas out there, maybe, or
sure
parallels, I guess. But
you got to imagine, though, that if Biden was shot on February 14th, she'd become president well before February 16th. She'd probably be sworn in that same day. So. Just for people, your thoughts. The reason we said that Biden would probably go around June 1st, 2024, and it remains to be seen. The initial thought behind that was it's 1,229 days later, which is the 201st prime. And again, he sacrificed his son 201 days before the Pope's birthday at age 46. But June 1st is also typically the 152nd day of the year. It'll be slightly off because it's a leap year, but Joe Biden's 152. Kamala Devi Harris is 152. Pennsylvania is 152. Biden's from Pennsylvania. Of course, the White House is on Pennsylvania Avenue. And the first President's Day when he became president did fall on 15/2, the 15th of February. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting Biden to not finish the year as well. So we will see. I think he might have lost the signal again. His signal's going in and out. Well, he necessarily wouldn't even have to die. Plain Dakota in the chat, guy who big flat earther. But there's other reasons he could leave office early. So we will see. The next president to not finish their term is the 9th. And remember, Biden is the 45th person to be president, which is the 9th triangular number. Of course, he's number 46, but the 45th person to be president. So we will see.
Okay, and so the Civil War, can you hear me? I don't know if my signal's good. I got one bar.
You're back.
Yeah. Man, see, I called earlier and I sat in the same spot and had perfect signal. But now that I want to talk about numbers, when my phone wants to mess up. So in the Gematria calculator, the number 3 and then world wars. So if you write out 3 world wars, it equals 46. And the Civil War movie from the attack Hamas on Israel on October 7th, I typed in 46 weeks from that. And it gave me August 24th. And if you read the Civil War movie in the description or whatever, it says it comes out April 26th by A24 in the United States. A24 would be August 24th.
He cut out again. August 24th. Kobe Bryant Day. Remember that Civil War movie that just came out? It premiered Alex Garland. It's like Alex Garland's Civil War. It premiered that trailer for it 201 days from his birthday. 201, of course, big Jesuit number. Confederate 201. Lincoln blaming the Civil War on the Jesuits. And the actor who died, Jesuit educated around that same time that was in the Civil War movies. Oh, his name's escaping me right now. But at the same time that trailer was out, his death was buzzing. And he died at age 61, like the Civil War began in 1861. You're back, Midwest.
Yeah. But you get what I was saying, though. 46 weeks from the invasion of Israel would be August 24th. And the description of the movie, it says A24. So I put that kind of together thinking maybe that could be the day it pops off. I don't know, because we got the stuff going down at the border. talking about the Fed's going to get violent with the, and it's like, who knows, man? Times are.
You can interpret it many different ways, right? You can interpret it as April 24th, or the Civil War did begin in April in history. It began on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year, like World War and Art of War is 102. And the thing about April 24th in a non-leap year is it's the 114th day of the year. And of course, World War equals 114, just like I had Peter Bergen saying we're on the verge of World War III, 114 days after the war began in Israel. So we'll see. All right, he's having a lot of trouble with the signal. Open up, hop back on here. Open up, did you want to say something else?
Yeah, I forgot to ask you. I know you're probably not doing the Kobe Bryant Day, but are you still doing the book? I think that'll be good for the few people that still read.
Yeah, it's I can't decide what to do with the book right now because somebody made the point. They're like, Zach, your Number Games has an 80-page chapter on Kobe's death. So does it make sense for your next book to be about Kobe's death? And I said, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, that is a good point. But I guess something different that's not in the book. Maybe the Maui fires or something that could be like a short book.
yeah, I wrote a whole bunch on the Maui fires. It's just nobody cares anymore. It's just why it just gets frustrating. It's like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a short book I could put out on the Maui fires. I already wrote a ton for it, but then it's just like nobody even talks about it. Nobody cares. It's down the memory hole.
Yeah, I think I mean, it is true. It's unfortunate. I think the best thing is what you're doing now, but the only thing is like getting people to watch since you're like in the algorithm black hole. But I mean, there's got to be someone who's watching who knows how to get connected with someone that has like a big platform, because I think that's going to be the only way. Because like I said earlier, people don't read anymore, and what you're doing now is probably the best way for it to get out.
Yeah, and the way I kind of feel like the game's rigged is like when I do things that are really important, then I get even further banned into the hole. It's like we got out in
Yeah.
Pound Pavement and had an impact, and then all the support got cut off and seemingly couldn't get any views anymore. So
Yeah, but all right, yeah, that's all I wanted to ask. Thanks for that answer.
all right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
416. You got to mute the video. You're on 416.
Hey, listen, what do you think of those three Chiefs fans that have passed away? Like, does that add even more to the fact that Casey's going to win this?
Well, they keep showing the image of him in their Mahomes jerseys, and he's trying to win his third Super Bowl 3 days after the Kobe Bryant statue goes up on the anniversary of Derek Thomas' death, and we'll see.
Yeah, it seems like a sure shot there. Like, there's nothing I can see happening besides that. Like, you're bang on with this one, I think, you know?
Enormous wake-up call is the Fox News headline about the 3 dead Chiefs fans.
Wow.
So, yeah, you had the girlfriend of one of them come out and say they were murdered. So that was a headline the other day that the girlfriend of one of them said they were murdered. So,
yeah. It's the Bitcoin at all. Like, you see anything going on with that? They kept saying that it was going to crash, and now that XRP equals 58, and it's going to be because of Super Bowl 58, it's ushering in and all that.
I know that if you start wanting to look about Bitcoin, you should always follow the patterns and see how it syncs up with Satoshi Nakamoto's April 5th birthday. Oh, look, Wikipedia removed his date of birth. Hilarious. So, yeah, I can look more into Bitcoin. I mean, I know it's been up and down lately. It's up quite a bit from where it was a while back, but it took a little dip recently, so I can look into it some more.
Yeah, I know. I just listen. Yeah, I love your show. Anyway, just been finding you, and it's awesome. So, I give you a call. Thanks.
Sure. Just for people who weren't here at the time, back when Satoshi Nakamoto was turning 45 years old, which was in 2020, we said, watch, Bitcoin should be worth 45,000 by Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, and it actually shot up way beyond that. If you go back to that year, 2020, Bitcoin shot up very high at the very end of 2019, and like New Year's Day 2020, it shot up to 33,000, which was at its all-time high then. And again, we said, okay, because if you look in Gematria, Bitcoin equals 45, like Nakamoto, like Ritual, and we said this thing's going to be worth 45,000 by Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, and it had jumped actually even higher. That was like worth 50-some thousand by Valentine's Day. And anyhow, every time I look into Bitcoin, there's always something going on with the distance from Nakamoto, the supposed Nakamoto's April 5th birthday.
Yeah, because it's hovering around 43,000 right now. It's probably going to hit there again this year. And I think the year you're talking went as high as 69,000.
Yeah, it ended up going a lot higher, but I had it pegged for going up to 45 by the 45th day of the year, and it exceeded that.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, if you look into the Catholic Church, a lot of like the Bitcoin engineers are Catholics, and it's just so obvious. It's just like I'm always saying, man, the Jesuits, they're running a lot of things, and no doubt they're running these cryptos. I know so many Bitcoin people think it's this untouchable. It's not. It's all part of the same rig scheme, just like the markets and everything else. So, anyhow.
No, that's great. No, thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, take care. Yeah, when Bitcoin had its big fall off, we called that too. I'd have to go back and look. I forget how it was, but I told people, I said, by this date, I think it'll probably be up around the top and they'll be falling off from there. And sure enough, it did. So let's think about how old is he now? Now he's going to turn 49 this year. He's 48. Yeah, I don't do so much with crypto because, I mean, there is a lot of money that can be made in it, no doubt about it. But yeah, it's just like I don't want to support the digital currency system they're trying to get us into, and they're going to put us in it if humanity doesn't fight back. But you don't see much resistance. Yeah, I see the comment from Two-Face about how we might read more than ever because of texts and online and screens. In a sense, we're definitely not reading books, but yeah, short messages. Shout out to Paula, always very generous. Thank you again, Paula. I appreciate your constant generosity. Shout out to Callie Kills, and thank you again to Nathan, aka Disambiguation 144. Appreciate the super chats. We're coming up on the 3-hour mark, and I wanted to do a 3-hour stream because that's typically how long TFR is. Not going to do the regular TFR broadcast tonight because the call board is still down, and I figured with the call board down, it kind of defeats the purpose of the show. Or doing it at that time slots, the call board that's the advantage. But for the second week in a row, it's down, and I don't know, maybe it's never coming back up. I am actually concerned about Chris Gio. Like, where is the guy? He was always so responsive, and I mean, there was never a period of time where he wasn't responsive, and I just haven't heard from him in forever. Well, what's up, 415?
Oh, hey, bud. This is Albert. Just was calling in. Thanks for taking my call. You might have covered this already, but what are you thinking with the Super Bowl, the KC versus the Niners? Sorry, I've been working.
It's exactly what we wanted. We thought that's what the Super Bowl would be with our final broadcast of the year. We had a nice future in it for the start of the year, and we're talking about it every day on Patreon. So
yeah, no, I saw that. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking they're gonna do? You think it's KC they're gonna get to KC because the whole push with the Taylor Swift and all that, or do you think they're gonna go with the Niners since everybody's is riding KC hard? It's like 74% of the public is backing KC right now. Especially with
is that the stat? 74. Well, Joe Montana is 67 years old. Kansas City equals 67. 67 is the 19th prime. He wore 19 with the Chiefs. the last time the Niners and Chiefs met, it was the 1920 season, and he didn't wear 19 with the Niners, but he wore it with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won that Super Bowl. 19 years since a quarterback won back-to-back, and that was Brady, who idolized Montana, and Montana won back-to-back in Super Bowls 23 and 24. So
leaning more towards Kansas City.
And like I said, man, I mean, like you're a guy calling in asking for sports information and clearly not supporting the Patreon. So join the Patreon.
Okay, I will. I'll do that.
All right, yeah. All right, later. So, anyway, all these people that want all this information and can't support at the inexpensive rate, Yeah, freeloaders indeed. Freeloaders indeed. So. And exactly. It's like if you don't have enough common sense to understand what I just said. See, that's the problem. It's just like morons don't understand when I speak. Like people with the brain would pick up and go, "Oh, I know exactly what you mean." And he's like, "So what? So wait, how does that work out?" It's like, well, what the hell do you think I just said, dude? I mean, do you speak English? So, anyway. What do they got down here about Mahomes? Oh, by the way, you know what day Mahomes' father's birthday is, right? His birthday is August 9th, 8-9. The day leaving 144 days left in the year. Here, I'll pull up his father real quick. The other Mahomes under Baseball Reference. Born August 9th, 70 in Bryan, Texas. And again, the Raiders hosting the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes played for the Red Raiders in college. What's up, Supreme Mathematics?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Man, nice to hear from you again. I was actually doing the knowledge to the Jackson theory. I had pulled up the three biggest three biggest black cities in America, and the first one is Jackson, Mississippi. So it's not ironic how Lamar Jackson was the quarterback, and number two was Baltimore. And as we seen that outcome with the latest game, and then you have Detroit, you've seen the outcome with that latest game. So Jackson's number one, Baltimore's number two, and Detroit's number three. But what's really analyzing is like that now they're showing this Jackson movie with Katherine Jackson, and going back to Jackson, Mississippi, their roots is in Mississippi and also Alabama. But also Brett Favre being not too close from Jackson, Mississippi, of course, is going to jail for his fraud for what was it? Food stamp fraud. And then also, Jerry Rice is from Mississippi. So, by Jerry Rice being at the Super Bowl, along with Joe Montana, it's just to me it's just all played out to the same existence. But I always look at it like as a theory that they put up, because Michael Jackson, because he's got a movie coming out too called Jackson in theaters coming out soon, and to where like with Michael Jackson, they call the King of Pop. He's born from Joe Jackson, which Joe is the father of Jesus, and they consider Michael Jackson being the Messiah of pop. Of course, they popped him, and it's just it's the same old shit again. You know what I'm saying? How they make you a monarch, and then they just get rid of you. Then they make a religion out of you in a way.
Yeah, I want to remind people that the other year for Michael Jackson's birthday, the top headline was Jackson, Mississippi was underwater with a nice little weather warfare ritual. And they also planned the first moon mission in forever on Michael Jackson's birthday, but then it got canceled for weather. If You guys have never seen my work on the moon landing and Michael Jackson. It's all connected. Apollo 11 and the year Michael Jackson turned 11.
Right. Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta go back and see exactly how it was. Michael Jackson's birthday is August 29th. The moon landing, July 20th. Hold on, let me go back and see how this all was. July 20th, 1969 to August 29th, 1969. Let me see. 40 days later, and I think moonwalk equals 40, if I remember this right. Moonwalk. Yeah, moonwalk 40. So
Yeah. Also, because Moonwalker was a big Sega Genesis game when I was
arcade
a kid.
game. That was the best game in the arcade. It was
Yeah.
Donatello.
But it's just all relative. It's all in the language, if once you really be able to, well, I guess it takes experience, you know what I'm saying? You got to go through something to really decode it, you know what I mean? But I just wanted to touch bases on that. I ain't gonna hold your lineup too long because it's Brooklyn Nets game coming on. And I wanted to say something about Portland though, about Dame Lillard returning to Portland. It's crazy because the rapper ODB, right?
Of course.
Okay, so he had his brothers, part of his crew called the Brooklyn Zoo. They was in Portland. They had got murdered, and it's not been solved. And that's been like almost like I think 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think. But on the same day that they was murdered, a family member in their family had a child. So to me, it's just like, and then all of a sudden, Dame Lillard had left Portland and went to Milwaukee. But it's not really a deep connection. But there's some other connections I got. But I didn't want to hold your lineup too long. But like even with this Yo Gotti and Big Jook issue, like, and that's another King theory. You know what I'm saying? So like where Yo Gotti now took the name John Gotti, and his brother gets murdered. But Memphis basketball player Zach Randolph has been rumored to be behind Young Dolph's death. So it's because I had worked with some people before, and they was like, man, because Zach Randolph got murdered. His brother got murdered in the same city where my mom was born at, and it's a very small city, Marion, Indiana. And he was telling me like, man, Zach, man, he's involved in a lot of stuff. And I said, well, okay, that makes sense. But when I realized he was playing for Memphis, and then he's at the same time that Young Dolph was in Memphis, then it's kind of like not a coincidence, But I had to dive deeper into it. But I've heard some rumors. That's pretty much it. But I don't go by rumor all the time. I go by rumor.
I don't remember covering this about the Brooklyn Zoo members dying in Portland, but what I can just say right off the top is I noticed how the headline broke the day after the deaths, which was on hip hop's birthday, August 11th. And the thing I know about my own city, Portland, is Portland has the Gematria 44, and it's known as Rip City, like rest in peace. Rip City is also 44, like shooting, and it says they were shot.
Right. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, man, it's excellent talking to you, man. I will touch bases back with you again. And man, thanks, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Peace.
Appreciate it. And there's the quote right there on the screen. R.I.P. to my older cousins. Of course, I mean, you would say that if anybody died almost anywhere, but Portland is known as Rip City. And just so you guys can see the Gematria, Portland got the 44. The 37 will come back to as well in light of the shooting, but Rip City is also 44. And then shooting, of course, is 44 and 37. And, something about Old Dirty Bastard is if you want to look it up, him and Method Man were on MTV. And, Method Man's in movies and TV shows and everything now. But Old Dirty Bastard was saying things that they would say are conspiracy theories. And Method Man said there going, don't associate me with any of this. Don't associate me with any of this. The next thing you know, Old Dirty Bastard's dead. And Method Man's, like I said, making movies and TV shows and everything. What's up, 803?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, you still working on that 201 book?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not the most experienced decoder, but I think I found a good decode.
I'm listening.
Yeah, do you know the Twitter account called is at Dappy Duck?
I don't.
This account, Dappy Duck, said that the true ruling entity or dominant order that rules the world is the crown, even above the Jesuits and its Vatican. He said the crown is the headquarters of the order of the temple. The crown is also known as the crown temple. I think even, what's his name, Santos Bonacci, I think he said even in one of his videos titled, "Your Soul is Owned by the Vatican," that I think is still available on YouTube, even though I think his original channel was deleted, was that the Temple Church, also known as the Crown Temple, was consecrated in 1185 by the Knights Templars. It's the only land in practically the whole world that has no title that's outside any canonical jurisdiction. And also, if you go to the Gematria calculator, if you type in the Crown Temple in the calculator, I think it matches in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers with the Jesuit order.
It would all make sense, right? Because, I mean, the Temple Church goes back to the Templars, and the Jesuits are the modern-day Templars. So I would say it's all one and the same, essentially.
Yeah. And then they said the Crown Temple is what actually controls our legal court system in the United States, Canada, and many other countries. All bar associations are directly linked to the International Bar Association, and the ends of court at Crown Temple in the City of London. The government of the United States, Canada, and Britain are all subsidiaries of the Crown, as is the Federal Reserve in the United States. The ruling monarch in England is also subordinate to the Crown. The Crown is the inner city of London, which is an independent state in London belonging to the Vatican system. There's a banking cartel which has a massive system around the world. The inner city of London hides its true power, which is in fact the Knights Templar Church, also known as the Crown Temple or Crown Temple. There's also 2 videos. It's the Empire of the City, 3 city-states, London, Vatican, D.C., and I think Walter Fife, he did a video about the Crown, America's subjugation to the Crown. And in those 2 videos, the Empire of the City video showed that the United States was essentially a crown colony. And that video also showed that King James not only transferred the KJV Bible, he signed the first charter of Virginia in 1606, which gave America's British forefathers a license to settle and colonize America. I think that video also showed that the Constitution for the District of Columbia operates under the tyrannical Roman law known as Lex Florii, which bears no resemblance to the U.S. Constitution. And in Walter Fife's video, he was basically saying that the American people were fooled into believing that the crown colonies compromising New England were independent nation states, which were in fact still colonies of the Crown Temple, which is basically controlled by the Jesuits, specifically Rome and the Knights Templar. The signers of the Declaration of Independence, which included John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and others, were in fact agents for the Crown because they signed the Treaty of 1783 as an esquire, which is essentially a shield bearer for a knight, which was recognized by international treaty law through King George III in the Treaty of Paris on September the 3rd, 1783, which is essentially an agreement between the Crown of Britain or Crown Temple and the United States. This is bad anything else. The other thing was, have you ever heard of the video game Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
Yeah, I'm aware of that video game series and how it has to do with the Templars.
Yeah, they said basically that in that specific game, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, basically the story was how the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was trying to overthrow the elite tyrannical Roman Templar families or to bring the city into the true wealth and wonder of the Renaissance. And I think some of those elite Roman families included the Massimios, Medicis, Farnese, Orsini's, and others. I also heard, I don't know if it's either Massimios or Medicis might have financed some of the first popes. So,
Yeah, I've heard similar things. So
yeah. So yeah. Just the last thing, research the Crown Temple by Rule of Mystery Babylon, by Michael Edward, the Dippy Dappy Duck Twitter, and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
okay, Michael Edwards, I'll check it out.
All right, yeah, that was it.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, he's got a blog. It's posted 2010. 347.
Limited, please. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I think they deleted more stuff off your old website this week because I went back to, I do research and stuff, and I can't find the post I'm looking for.
Yeah, they've been constantly getting rid of stuff on there. It's annoying.
And 66 posts that you did, and it's like gone.
I'm sure it is. They've gotten rid of so many posts on my old site. It's annoying.
Like, because, the final started on 6-6, and I was looking at some stuff, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, what's going on? Unless I got to type in something specific. I mean, do you have anything in mind to type in that I can find it, probably?
Which post are you trying to find again?
It was something I saw. It was like, it was from the, man, what was it here? Hold up. Well, it was Warriors. It was Warriors. It was some finals post that you did there. I don't know. But it's like they deleted so much stuff off of it. It's like, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But thanks for the stream. And thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it, friend. You have a good night. Right, take care. Eloy said, "Hey Zach, how do you feel about Stranger Than Fiction?" I actually don't know that channel, but Scariest Movie Ever I do know. And in fact, he was the first big channel to feature my work, like way back in 2014, maybe. And the thing was, I forget what year he did it in. Maybe it was 2015. Maybe it was 2016. He ran a scam on his community, and I was just in disbelief that he was even trying to get away with it. For people who aren't here, he set up a fake hospital room scene and acted like he was severely injured. And then he put out an X-ray of his supposed injury, and it was obvious that it was an X-ray of a bird, but he was saying it was his human body. And he was asking people to donate money. It was just so crazy and weird and goofy. And he's another guy who never puts his face on the screen. But I was just in disbelief because I was like, how does he think his audience is this stupid? He's got several 100,000 subscribers. He's going to put out an X-ray of a bird's body in a fake hospital scene room. It was just like, what? So I didn't want anything to do with Scariest Movie Ever after that. I just thought, okay, I appreciate that you brought attention to my work, but something is wrong with you. And as for Stranger Than Fiction, I don't have any recollection of that channel. I don't know what was the first to go on the site. They've gotten rid of so many posts, it's ridiculous. And that's what's annoying about Google buying up things. When I started posting on that, Google didn't own that platform, but Google bought Blogspot, and now they say they own the rights to delete whatever content they don't want to, just like they do on YouTube. Yeah, it seems like horribly wrong to like be able to buy a platform and then start deleting people's content off there. It's like, okay, you weren't even, I want to explain it, it's just annoying. Yeah, I was going to say August 20th is the slavery anniversary. The 404th anniversary, kind of like Obama 44. I mean, yeah, it's probably a date to circle and see what happens. There could be something with that. We definitely had it circled for the 400th anniversary. If you guys weren't here back then, we were saying just watch sometime around August 2019, shortly after. It's going to be just like Acts 7:7. In Acts 7:6, it talks about 400 years of slavery in a nation. And then Acts 7:7 is about how that nation gets punished. And shortly after August 2019, you had COVID and lockdowns and bad times. And initially, the U.S. was the hardest hit nation, other than China. That's interesting, Marquise. Hopefully, they're not going to do that again. At the time of COVID, they did say that the Super Bowl helped spread the virus. Jason says Patrick Mahomes' wife's stepdad died at 63 at the NFL game, exactly 63 months before the Super Bowl. That was, and then Joe Montana was 63 years old at the time, and as Kayla Decode Talker will tell you, Native American equals 63. But the day that the back then it was just the fiance, but now it's his wife. That was the game where Patrick Mahomes beat Len Dawson's passing record. And then Len Dawson died last year on Kobe Bryant Day, or the year before now. But again, 172 days before the Super Bowl that the Chiefs won over the Eagles. And Kansas City Chiefs equals 172, just like how Harbaugh stayed on 172 wins. And for the Chevron gas attendant, again, self-evident, buddy. Stop going like, where's any proof that any of this matters? Just like how last year we put in a future for the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl when Len Dawson died 172 days for it. Like how we talked about how Harbaugh would likely stay on 172 wins losing to the Chiefs this weekend. Like how it's the Chiefs' 64th season and Kansas City Chiefs is also 64. And again, Norma Hunt of the Chiefs died on June 4th. Chiefs 64 season, all kinds of 64 rituals. You see how Kansas City Chiefs is 98? They lost in the AFC Championship in the 98th season to Brady. But here, somebody just pointed this out today. Migos, Mahomes release date. So the rap group Migos has a song called Mahomes, right? And notice how they put it out in history on June 11th. That's Joe Montana's birthday, June 11th. So they put out the song about Mahomes, who's doing all the Montana rituals. Montana, who finished his career with the Chiefs. But they put it out on Joe Montana's birthday. And again, Mahomes' birthday is September 17th, which is the same birthday as the NFL. Just notice how they put out this song that year, 98 days before Mahomes' birthday, June 11th. What year was it again? 2021. Mahomes' birthday, September 17th. So they put it out 98 days before Mahomes' birthday, which is also 14 weeks. And 14 is a big number in KC because KC's 14. But see how Kansas City Chiefs is 98? Again, it's their 64th season, 172. So people are like, well, where's the proof the four? It's just like, where's the proof the four ciphers matter? How about in the 10,000 posts we've laid down in the last, forever amount of years? God, are you kidding me? And we're always talking about KC and 14. So should try using out the knowledge, Chevron attendant. You could fix your black teeth. Make some money to go to the dentist. Okay. Itachi says, what are the odds Lillard has made 6,605 field goals coming in tonight? I see what you're saying. The next one is 6. Okay. We got Robbie in the chat. What's up, Robbie?
Hey, I was trying this out, bro. I'm listening. I'm just listening.
Oh, you just want to listen? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put you in the backstage. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. All right. He clicked the StreamYard link, but in the future, you click that link. That's supposed to mean that you want to be on the show, but you're welcome to stay there and listen. Thank you for stopping by. I was also planning on not going much longer because we're well over the 3-hour mark. We're approaching 3.5 hours. I do want to wrap it up soon. Maybe we'll go 5-10 more minutes. If anybody else would like to call in or join the link, it's pinned in the chat. Now is the time. I'll put the phone number up one more time. So last call for phone calls. 509-560-4982. And no, we're not doing TFR at the regular time tonight because the call board is still down on the platform. And I figured doing it at this time, it keeps people up, not as late. I reached out to Chris Gio, and if he is alive out there, I told him what I'd like to do is change my time slot for TFR and actually do because they used to have a gentleman who did the show every single day, but he passed away, RIP to him. And they don't have anyone who does TFR every single day. And I told Chris what I wouldn't mind doing is doing an hour a day every day. I think that'd be a better way to do it. Just an hour of TFR each day. But going to need a response from Chris for that to happen. Let's go out to Eloy. What's up, Eloy?
Hey, what's up, Zach? How you doing?
Doing well. I assume you're the generous gentleman in the chat. Is that you?
Yes, sir. I've been watching you since 2020, and the work, it speaks for itself, man. And I'll continue to, I know it's like $3-4 a day, but I try to do it to where if everyone did it a day, 99 cents, it adds up. So
Well, and I'd say 99 cents a day is too much to donate. It's because it does add up. I mean, you think about that. That's 365 a year. That's a big contribution, and I'm not asking
but
people to pledge $1 a month.
It's the least we could do, man. You deserve so much more, bro. And I just wanted to call and let you know, I did make some flyers that I am going to be posting. Next time you do a live stream, probably TFR on next Wednesday, I want to show you them so you can kind of check them out yourself. But I am going to be posting them everywhere out here in Rapid City, South Dakota. So
awesome. I appreciate that.
All right. You have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Eloy. Take care. South Dakota, North Dakota. Cold winters, but sometimes I think these are like the best places to be, right in the middle of the country. Not a lot of population. So if anything popped off, you'd have some extra time if you're in the Dakotas. All right. Again, last call for phone calls. We're going to go maybe 4 or 5 more minutes. Make a new channel just called TFR Live. What I want to do is create a website like TFR that has a call board and get other people to do shows, and just like how TFR has programming around the clock. I'd like to do something similar. I personally do not know how to set up anything near what TFR is, though. And sadly, TFR is falling apart because seemingly Chris Gio is missing in action. So normally he's doing maintenance and keeping the new network tuned up, and I don't think any of that's going on right now. 562?
Yeah, hey, Shaq, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. So, quick question. You know how you're always decoding the number 201, and then you happen to move into the house 201? Did you ever think more of that? Like, you didn't go into it too much. Do you think it's a coincidence? Or do you think there's like some type of, like maybe you were calling that number out since you decoded so much?
Well, that's exactly what I did explain when I talked about it when it first happened, and even before this happened, I made the same point where let's just say there's days where it wasn't 201. I was decoding 45 all day. It was 45 dating numbers, it was 1,045 rituals, and then Sweet Lay's like, "Hey, I feel like going out to eat tonight," and then we go out to eat, and they give us the ticket number 45, and I'm just like, that is so weird. So I mean, I already had these things happen so many times in my life, and then again, when we did the cross-country trip, for real, don't know. When I did the cross-country trip where we went from city to city, from Seattle to New York for 9/11, and we're teaching about 201 all across the nation, when I was out there, my trip got cut short because the last place I was at the Yale campus, and Sweet Lady called me up, and she's like, "I need you to come home," because it was her first day of work. It was September 12th. and it was September 12th, 2022. Is that right? Yeah, 2022. And she called me up and she's like, I need you to come back home because it was her first day on the job after finishing school. And we thought that she was going to be working right there where we were at the time in Yakima. And they said, they told her they needed her to work at the other location, which is 50 miles away. And she's not comfortable driving on the freeway, and drive 50 miles each way is a 100-mile round trip a day. And so she's like, I need you to come home and drive me because I don't want to be driving. And I was like, well, I'm all the way in Connecticut right now. It's a long drive. I'm not going to be there tomorrow. But if you guys remember, I did bust my ass back there. I got back there in like 2.5 days. But anyway, then we had to look for a house near where she was working. And it's a small area, so there wasn't a whole lot on the market. And there was like a really dumpy place. And then there was another house that I liked that I thought it was calling for me because the address was 721, which is my birthday, July 21st. And it had this nice acreage. And I was like, hey, we can grow some food out here. This is perfect. But then sweet lady, she just thought it was just too much in the middle of nowhere. And it was so dark out there. And she's like, I don't feel safe out here. And all the threats you get, people come kill us tonight. Nobody even knows. I was like, well. So anyway, the only other house that was really available in the area that she liked was 201. And I was like, God, I don't know about moving into house 201. But that's what we did. So that's how it worked out. Yeah, it was weird as hell.
Yeah, that's a trip, bro. Yep. Anyway, that's it, brother.
Yeah, but no, but to answer the question too, it's like that. For people who've never read the 7 Hermetic Principles, just look them up. They don't even take that long to read. They're like really short, but they're interesting and profound. Again, like everything has an energy and a vibration, and you can attract things to you if you're on the vibration. So it seems to me that maybe like when you're really focused on a number and you're just talking about all the time, you might make it just come back into your life, like seemingly accidentally, but really there is a rhyme and a reason to it. So
yeah.
That's
do you happen to know which number is the one to win the lotto?
Well, I do know that. I know that gentleman. Okay, there's a guy who first found my work who lived in. When I first found this, I lived in Bothell, just north of Seattle, and there was a gentleman out there. His name was Mike, and he started using these numbers with Keno. And then he was like, "I've never won so much at Keno since I learned the numbers." And so he just learned how to apply it. But the gentleman Shark, who was out in New York with us, like he gave a big super chat last year. I think it was, God, I can't remember if it was the anniversary. No, it must not have been September 11th. I forget what day it was. It might have been like January 27th. It was some number sequence day that had to do with the numbers of 9/11. Like it was 127 or something, like buildings 127. But he like played like the 9/11 related numbers and won big on the pick 3 in New York. So, I mean, there is something to it. I've never tried to figure out the lottery, but maybe if there's like a date and a number sequence that stands out. Here, an example that a lot of people know about, like the pick 3 in Illinois, the day that Obama was elected was 666. And Obama's birthday is the 216th day of the year, where 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So there might be certain days where you can pick up on something like that and like, oh, I know numbers that go with today. And, you know, I mean, it's always following the patterns.
Yep.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye. Eloy, come on, man. I appreciate it, but you already did your work. You already did your work today. He's just going above and beyond that, Eloy. Thank you. So maybe someday we'll be neighbors in South Dakota. Take you back out to dinner. So appreciate it. Yeah, I think we better wrap it up because I do gotta also. Well, I always have dinner ready for Sweet Lady, even on nights where I do the show. But tonight she'll be surprised that I'm not doing the show. We'll have dinner together. All right, one more call, and then I'm hopping off of here. 586.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I was just going in just how we didn't see while we were nailing on the 49ers or whatever, but that big story about that one player's wife who made Taylor Swift and Mahomes' wife them jackets. I think there was more to that than we were, we didn't really look into that or whatever. And then I noticed, McCaffrey's dad played for the 49ers, and he wore the number 81. McCaffrey's 23, so if you add it up, you get your 104 for the 104th season. But then if you take 81 and you minus 23, you get the the 58 for the 58 Super Bowl.
That's interesting. And again, his father, Ed McCaffrey, also played for Mike Shanahan, the father of Kyle Shanahan. So you have another McCaffrey-Shanahan duo in the NFL.
Yeah, and then I guess there's only been one father-son duo to win the Super Bowl. So if they were to do it, they could become the second or whatnot.
Ooh, I got to look into that one. The word two does have a gematria 58, TWO. So interesting.
I mean, there's so much going for the Chiefs, man. But and that 666 riddle with if 49ers were to pull it off is a little scary to me. But you know, we'll see if if they were to win it. Another thing, if they were to win, if 49ers won it, they'd be 6-2 in Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes equals 62.
Yeah.
But you know the 666 with Steelers having 6, Patriots having 6, and then if they won it, they'd have 6. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a thought.
Man, I just figured I'd call on for that.
All right, appreciate it. Take care.
All right, man. Yep.
All right, we'll leave it there. We're approaching the 4-hour mark, so again, no TFR tonight at the regular time. If you got here late, feel free to rewind. And yeah, if you're a troll, find something better to do with your life. It's pathetic how many trolls we got. They must like living under tyranny. I just assume all my trolls must just love being lied to by tyrants, overtaxed, watch needless wars be created, needless fear, losing sovereignty over your body. I mean, these must be all the qualities of my trolls. They just like being used and abused. Thank you very much, Ava Moon. That was very nice of you. I appreciate it. All righty, Truth Seeker. That's it for tonight. Thank you, everyone who hits the like and the share. And till next time, Truth Seeker.